Donald Trump is conquering Karg Island, the major island oil exporter place in Iran. He says the talks took too long. We're just going to start conquering things until, you know, until morale improves. The bombing will continue until morale improves. All right, 10 Ayatollahs later, we'll see how y'all want to make peace. Foreign governments are still trying to psyop the American people by paying off influencers to be complete morons that absolutely get obliterated once their actual opinions enter the marketplace of ideas. Black people are rioting all over the United States of America because they are incredibly furious that it is illegal to kill white people. Unbelievable. The UK is having the opposite problem. Patriots are rising up, conquering their country back, taking it back from the savages. And to anyone that says there's violence, I don't think there is, mate. More stuff to lock in, boys and girls. We got an insane deep dive on all of the things. Definitely subscribe every day. Another deep dive. YouTube has been stifling me a lot lately, and it probably has nothing to do with the fact that I'm a little bit racist. So once again, please subscribe. It's very appreciated. Lock in, boys and girls. Woo! Insane stuff. The updates are rolling in, and it's almost exactly what I predicted. U.S. Army paratroopers conduct small arms training during a live fire exercise in the Middle East. Why would paratroopers need training unless they will be descending from their jets? Do you think the paratroopers will be on the ground soon? That is the question everyone wants to know, yes. And moving on, we got lots to talk about. As always, I need to show you the details, and then I hit you with the opinions, which are always correct opinions. It's not my problem that I'm so accurate. The Donald posted this on Truth Social.
Scenario 1, or Pericles 1, to use his code name, sir.
What is the virtue of a proportional response?
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry?
What is the virtue of a proportional response? Why is it good?
What does that mean?
They hit an airplane, so we hit a transmitter, right? That's a proportional response.
Sir, in the case of Pericles 1...
They hit a barracks, we hit 2 transmitters.
That's roughly it, yes, sir.
This is what we do. I mean, this is what we do.
Yes, sir. It's what we do. It's what we've always done.
Well, if it's what we do, if it's what we've always done, don't they know we're going to do it?
Sir, if
Uh-oh.
turn your attention to
Oh,
Pericles
yeah.
I have turned my attention to Pericles 1. It's 2 ammo dumps, an abandoned railroad bridge.
But what if we need to do a lot more than proportionate responses every once in a while? That is the question everyone wants to know. Well, lock in, boys and girls, because the Donald was cooking.
I've been working with Iran for a number of months, and they should sign their deal.
Oh, yeah. Things are going to get really proportional. Let me just remind you, they just, during a ceasefire, took down one of our helicopters, and now they're going to die. A lot of people are telling me, no, it needs to be equal proportionate. No, actually, if there's an enemy force that wants us dead, we should kill all of them with as few casualties as possible. Right? Democrats are like proportionate. If they nuke us, we'll nuke them back. And, you know, Trump is like, no, actually, we just want to kill these guys because they fucking suck in general. They rape kids, dude. They're bad.
It's a good deal. It doesn't give them the right to have a nuclear weapon. In fact, it totally prohibits them from ever having a nuclear weapon.
All right.
And it was just tap, tap, tap. I don't know what they're doing. So they then shot at our helicopter. Very expensive helicopter, by the way, but much more importantly, the
An Apache helicopter, one of my favorite genders.
men, fortunately, they're okay.
Thank God.
An amazing rescue.
God looking out for our troops.
If you ever get a clip, you won't believe the
God looking out for our troops a lot better than Allah is looking out for those Ayatollahs. I'll tell you that.
rescue, how cool it was. The equipment we have. Look, we have the strongest military in the world. Sure. And I gave them a break at the request of Pakistan.
Lesson 1, never listen to Pakistan. I'm glad we've learned and grown from this. Pakistan, please, Mr. President, could you please give Iran a little bit of time? No, Mr. Pakistan, we can't actually. Also, stop fucking your cousin.
Field Marshal and the Prime Minister of Pakistan are great.
He was doing a diplomacy, all right? Listen, the Donald was doing a little bit of diplomacy in regards to Pakistan, all right? Well, we've learned our lesson.
Stop them from going to war with India. You would have had a nuclear war if it wasn't for me. But they became friendly to me, very friendly, and they're close to Iran, and they worked, and they still are working on trying them to do what's right. But
they're trying.
We want a deal that's meaningful. We want a deal that works. We don't want to just have a Barack Hussein Obama deal,
right.
JCPOA, the worst deal. That was a path to a nuclear. It's the exact opposite. You know, I like on television, they say, oh, they should have kept that deal. First of all, it was over. It was a short-term deal. But that deal was a path to a nuclear weapon. This is a path against a nuclear. You can't have a nuclear weapon.
No, but you see, the reason why the media says that is because actually the media is on Iran's side because the left hates America. America is based on biblical values. The left worships Satan, and therefore they actually don't like us. Now, a lot of people will hear that and they'll be like, "Wow, you're really taking this far." Name one leftist policy that's not satanic. Like, I would say I'll wait, but I'd be sitting here forever. I don't think you could come up with one of them. Not a single one. Take money from people that earn it and give it to people that don't? Sorry, bro. That's called theft with extra steps. Yeah, but the pro-sex trafficking, pro-child grooming, pro-baby murder cult, all right, I actually don't think that they have America's best interest at heart.
His was a path to a nuclear weapon. They were developing, during his administration, nuclear weapon.
That's right.
If they had a nuclear weapon, there'd be no Israel, there'd be no Middle East, and they would have absolutely shot at us. So we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
But we hit them hard yesterday.
Yes, we did.
We're going to hit them again hard today.
Yes, we will.
In case you don't turn on your television set.
Oh, you're not ready for what you're about to see.
We'll see what happens with the deal. We were really close to a deal, but they keep tapping us along. They keep playing us for suckers because you know what? They dealt with some very stupid precedents. I have to say that. I'm embarrassed to say it.
They think that the West is weak because the West has, for some reason, given the keys to the kingdom to the United Nations, the globalist Eurocucks that sit there and do meetings and strongly worded tweets. All right, for some reason, ever since World War II, this gigantic leftward shift has convinced the world that you're not allowed to win wars, that it's somehow immoral to win wars. Wrong. It is moral to win wars. It is just to win wars. In fact, God demands victory. I disagree with the entire framing of the Eurotrash. I don't want to even hear it, bro. And winning a war against an apocalyptic, death cult, pedophile, goat-molesting regime like Iran that massacres their own people, let alone ours, quite honestly, their options are either complete and utter submission or death. All right, we don't need to take another path. If you want to argue that we shouldn't have started this war to begin with, fine, whatever argument you want to make, whatever. But if we started the war, we need to win. Now, the VP has, in my opinion, a slightly different perspective on this.
Now, I feel that we are in a position to get a deal that is good for the United States economically and that really does deal with the Iranian nuclear program, not just now, not just while Donald Trump is president, but for the long term, to where my kids can say when they're adults, Iran is not going to have a nuclear weapon. That's the goal of the policy, and I think we're very close to achieving that goal. But
I think we have been seeing throughout the course of this war, Rubio on one shoulder saying, "Listen to Mr. President, we need to kill the terrorists," and Vance on the other shoulder saying, "Listen to Mr. President, there are a lot of very bitchy, complainy people in America, so we should just stop the war. Fuck the greater good. We have midterms to win." And honestly, it's a little bit wild to see. In fact, Pete Hegseth, on the other hand, he is the third guy. You have Rubio saying, "Win the war." You have Vance saying, "Make peace." And then you have Hegseth just rolling up his sleeves and being like, "Crusade, motherfuckers."
Resolute with the way that we respond and bring firepower, and we will certainly do that if need be. So thank you for traveling with us today very much, and we'll strike them hard tonight, and hopefully Iran makes a good decision. Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
Bro, this guy does not want Iran to make a deal. He's like sitting there, please let Iran be bitches. Let us fucking kill them. Like, dude, you know it. Just in, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth warns Cuba not to acquire weapons that threaten the U.S. based. And in fact, in the Peruvian presidential election, Keiko Fujimori, the right-wing person, won by 50.001% against the far-left communist Roberto Sanchez, who had 49.999%. This is insane, especially because ever since USAID was defunded and thousands of NGO contracts were canceled, left-wing parties lost in every single Central and South American election. All right, every single one that had an election, the left wing lost without exception, and that is insane. You wonder how much of that left wing bullshit was being propped up by our garbage. All right, now Pete Hegseth does not stop there.
What happens with the future of Cuba is in the hands of the President of the United States.
Sorry, Cubans, your future is in our hands now. That's just how it works.
And the leadership of Cuba, no matter what, the Department of War is going to be prepared and postured for any possible contingency. We're here to talk about that today and then do a little PT. How's that sound?
Dude, our military is so fucking back, it's crazy. So, moving on.
Yeah, hey guys, good morning. I just spoke with President Trump, and following the U.S. strikes against Iran overnight and the Iranian missile attacks against U.S. forces in Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan, the president tells Fox News he may keep going and that he is getting closer to the targeting of Iranian power plants.
You mean to tell me that he's not just going to make a shitty deal to get out of it like I was told by all these fucking retard neocon morons? Sorry, man. I think I've been the only person that I've watched that's been covering this war on like a day-to-day basis that hasn't backtracked one iota and did not have any panic in moments. If you've been tuning in, you've been seeing it every day. Not only have my predictions been accurate, and as you're going to see, one of my massive predictions is actually coming true, which is insane, but my principles hasn't changed, my stance hasn't changed, and I didn't panic even when Trump was trying to debate everybody. All right, I am just saying.
And bridges. He told Fox that the Iranians are tapping the U.S. along as it relates toward reaching a negotiated settlement to formally end this conflict.
That's right, and it seems like that is exactly what's happening. So the Donald dropped his nuke. You know, he said, we're just going to keep bombing them now, actually. It's pretty awesome. In fact, if they don't sign an agreement, we're going to bomb the shit out of them tomorrow night as well.
I asked him what will happen if the Iranians do not sign an agreement that was put forward by American negotiators. President Trump said, quote, we'll bomb the S out of them tomorrow night.
That's right. And that's exactly the right way to negotiate with terrorists. We want unconditional surrender. As long as that doesn't happen, we're going to win the other way. All right. Now, you can change your mind. You can unconditionally surrender whenever you want. But until that happens, we are going to destroy you, either economically through the blockade, which has been fantastic, or, you know, militarily. Because, listen, man, y'all don't have a Navy and an Air Force anymore. It'll be really easy for us to kill you. That makes life better for us.
We're going to go in. We're going to finish the job. Having a protracted war is not the American way of war. It's a war we've been conditioned to in the last few decades.
That's right. The last few decades, we've been conditioned to fight like these endless wars where you have to do this just that way, and you have your fucking fat stack, gay ass, butt fucking homosexual rule book produced by the UN about how you're supposed to conduct yourself. No, fuck that shit. You're supposed to win wars.
Where we've done things in Afghanistan or Iraq, we ought to go back to the way we did it in like World War II or World War I.
Oh,
we just finish the job.
Finish the job, move on.
And say, when you need to come to the table and you want to talk to us, you got our phone number, but until then we're done. Because right now we're playing their game, not our game.
That's right. You think the Islamic Republic of Iran is following the UN's guidelines? They're bombing, you know, maritime economic ships. All right, they're bombing our helicopters. They're attacking our bases in Kuwait and Bahrain and Iraq and Jordan. They're attacking our allies in all these countries. They're attacking Israel and Qatar and Jordan also. They're putting mines in international waterways. These guys are fucking terrorists. But for some reason, the United Nations only cares when we break the law because, and this is going to shake you to your core, international law was never about constricting terrorism, because terrorism, they don't follow the laws anyway. International law was always only about constricting America and kind of Russia and China, but really not so much. We are the world's superpower, and they are terrified that if we are left to our own devices and we make our own moral decisions, that they can't stop us. And the reality is, they can't stop us. So they decided to mind rape us with infinite retarded rules and laws made by homosexual sand N-words, okay? Like, and we don't need to actually follow those rules, actually. International law is fake and gay. Anyway, breaking, Iran attacking Jordan, Bahrain, and Kuwait as this goes on, violating the ceasefire, and the Donald made a couple of tweets. Last month, I directed our great U.S. military to execute a secret mission to support oil tankers and other commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Today, I am pleased to announce that this effort has resulted in more than 100 million barrels of oil making its way through the strait into the open market. More than 200 commercial ships have safely traveled through the strait. This is a wildly successful effort because the United States of America controls the Strait of Hormuz, not Iran. Their military is defeated. Their economy is lost. It's over for Iran. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So while everyone's like worried about some sort of Great Depression event happening, we actually just control the Strait of Hormuz now. 100 million barrels of oil just made its way through. Just in, Trump reveals the U.S. secretly has been taking out millions of barrels of oil from Iran every night. Now, this is a thing that's been predicted. Trump, we took 22 ships from Iran that contains millions of barrels of oil, as a result of which the oil stands at $85 per barrel. Just colossal fucking W. Now, the thing is, a lot of people predicted this, but I'm going to show you this one. I predicted this too, but I'll show you this one. So on Piers Morgan, of course, Piers Morgan, honestly, is just basically a voice of like the libtard global regime at this point. So this is Piers Morgan, homosexual leftist, and then we got Tucker Carlson's brother, who of course is pro-Russia and anti-America. And these guys are all talking about how Iran is secretly winning the war. And this guy, Will Chamberlain, is like, no, for all you know, we're taking millions of barrels of oil.
We were told this would all be over, Will, in 2 to 3 weeks. Hammer. I remember being assured this would be over in 2 to 3 weeks. Then it was 6 weeks. We're now 3 months in.
But for the record, there were 2 to 3 weeks of conflict, and then there was a ceasefire. I don't consider time just blockading Iran with no actual firing back and forth. I don't consider that warfare. So it was 2 to 3 weeks, and then we took a hiatus to take all their shit, and now we'll see what happens.
Into this thing. They've launched barrage after barrage after barrage until they stopped barraging, and it didn't achieve any of the goals that were supposedly the goals of the war. So doing more barraging is fine, but all that will mean
that's just not true.
Well, it is true. Who controls the Strait of Hormuz?
Iranian military capability.
Who controls the Strait of Hormuz?
That was achieved in spades.
Yeah, but who controls the Strait of Hormuz?
Actually, I mean,
get ready.
The United States.
Oh, come on.
The problem is also Iran is threatening to harass shipping, but the United States actually does control the Strait of Hormuz because
and all the pro-Russia, the leftists, the libtards, all right, they're all getting together. No, your story is nonsense.
That's complete delusional.
It's
nonsense.
malarkey.
Of course they don't.
Yes. And migration has made English food much tastier.
Well, then why can't Iran get its ships out?
That's right.
Well, why can't the rest of the world get their tankers through?
A lot of them did.
Unless it's approved by Iran.
Because they're not willing to take the risk of Iranian harassment. But that doesn't mean that they have like meaningful control over the strait. Like they can harass.
Surely the people that control,
who actually has the ability to blockade,
actually control,
who can control what ships go in and out.
Well, you think America's controlling what ships are going in and out?
Maybe you're not making an argument that the United States and Iran currently share control of the Strait of Hormuz.
Just to be clear, you think the United States is controlling access through the Strait of Hormuz right now?
Yeah, effectively, yeah.
That's complete nonsense.
Complete nonsense. And then they all virtue signal, they laugh. You bring in the homosexual communists and the pro-Russia propagandists. They all say it's not true. Can we get an update on this, Piers Morgan? This was a month ago, by the way. All right, and every... Bro, these doubters, these retards, these pro-Iran dumbfucks don't want to believe their eyes because the popular narrative is just the anti-Trump narrative. It's insane, but it gets better. Trump tweeted, Iran's military is a complete and total mess. Much of it, like their Navy and Air Force, doesn't even exist anymore. They've been completely defeated. Iran is all talk, no action. The bully of the Middle East is dead. They've taken too long to negotiate a deal that would have been great for them, and now they will have to pay the price, and we're going to get real proportional on their asses. As you can see, this is an IRGC command and control center decimated by... Remember when Pakistanis were telling you on Twitter that Iran was winning? Remember when... Remember when when Sneeko said that Iran is secretly destroying our military? All right, well, huge fires in Tehran, obviously, because we are superior firepowers, because we're not inbred and we're much more intelligent. And also, God is on our side, actually. I mean, these guys are screaming to Allah, but Allah has very different plans for them than they think. All right, breaking, more explosions in Tehran. Dude, this is shit. This is crazy. All right, you don't understand, bro. We could make Iran look like an apocalypse whenever we fucking want. It is purely due to the benevolence of the Donald, because he's a true humanitarian that we didn't do that. All right, let's just make that clear. B-2 bombers are heading towards Iran, so that's how you know some crazy shit is about to happen. And now for the truth nuke. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. The Iranian regime will lose the zero-sum game it is playing. Any damage it inflicts on our allies in the Gulf will be paid for with funds extracted from Iranian accounts. Bro, we have so much control. Remember when they said we were losing this war? Oh my god, dude. Any tolls paid to the Persian Gulf Strait Authority will be offset by the funds extracted by their accounts. Every attack Iran launches will only deepen the economic and financial consequences it faces. This is brutal. Dude, this is brutal. Oh my god. Every time they bomb their neighbors, we just take their money to pay for the damage. And then Trump dropped the ultimate nuke. The United States will be hitting Iran, whose Navy, Air Force, radar, anti-aircraft, and other forms of defense together with its very offensive capability are gone very hard tonight. At some point in the not too distant future, get ready. Buckle your seatbelts. We will be taking Karg Island and other oil infrastructure points and assume total control over their oil and gas markets, which, like we have with Venezuela, which is working out brilliantly for both Venezuela and the United States of America. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. Now, a lot of people are saying Trump is pulling this out of his ass. It was never part of his plan. This is not something he ever actually wanted to do. He's just saying this now to threaten them. They're wrong. All right, now, actually, I predicted from the very beginning of this war that this was potentially one of Donald Trump's major goals, because if we do this, we have control of basically all of the global oil markets. Karg Island produces 90% of Iran's oil, and Trump is a businessman. If we do this, then we will have control over Iran's oil, Venezuela's oil. China will need oil and will only be able to purchase it from us. It would be an unbelievable global dominance, the likes of which the United States has never experienced in the history of the world. This is honestly insane if it happens. Alternatively, another theory, which could be really, really accurate, I'm just laying it out there, the Donald is bluffing, and all of a sudden, poof, Iran is going to be thrilled to make a deal. Now, just now, President Trump announces tonight's bombing campaign will be even bigger than last night.
There will be more bombing tonight. It'll be bigger, more powerful. Don't forget, we've knocked out all of their anti-aircraft. They don't have any they have nothing. I mean, they may get lucky with a shoulder weapon or something, but for the most part, you know, they have no defense.
What did the representative say in your phone call with them?
Excuse me. They're finished. But the papers, the media refuses to write it.
He's right. He's just completely correct. Otherwise, this wouldn't be able to happen.
It could be the greatest deal in history. They could wave the white flag of surrender. They could say, we surrender.
That's right. That is how wars end. Actually, winning wars is based. Either they surrender unconditionally or they die.
Surrender, we're finished. We've had it. The United States is the greatest power. Praise be to Allah. And they could do all of this. They could say it loud and clear, and the fake news would say it was a great victory for Iran. I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
He is not wrong. He is not wrong. CNN, Iran had reportedly spent months reinforcing Karg Island against a potential U.S. operation, deploying additional troops, air defenses, man pads, and minefields. That'll help. Karg Island handles roughly 90% of Iran's crude oil exports and is considered one of Tehran's most vital economic assets. And the Donald had one thing to say, and this is the killer.
We are talking to him and all, but, you know, look, my preference has always been take Karg Island.
My preference has always been take Karg Island. Listen, man. I don't believe in infinite ground invasion wars where we put boots on the ground for 10 years in order to effectuate some sort of regime change or whatever. I don't give a fuck about any of that shit. I don't like it. If you want to win a war, you kill them or they surrender. The end. It's not my problem to sit there and worry about regime changing and installing democracy and whatever. But for conquest, but for conquest purposes, that would be fucking insane. This would put the United States literally at the forefront in every single market on the planet.
And Brian knows that. I spoke to him a long time ago. Lawrence knows it. I spoke to him a long time ago. I said my preference would be that. I don't know that America has the stomach for it, to be honest with you. You know, make a fool. We are talking.
Yeah, I don't know if people have the stomach for us conquering their island and taking all their oil, but hey, I want to do it. Now, there is one American, one patriot, that actually has stood by the Donald and stated that this was probably his strategy the whole time. And that patriot was me. This is a video that I posted a month ago. We might take Karg Island, by the way, which is something I've been like wondering about since the beginning. If part of the Trump plan is just like, all right, we'll kill a bunch of Ayatollahs, and as as recompense, we will take your oil island.
We now have a.
I'm just saying. The Blue Jew was right again. That's why they don't call me Nuxtradamus for nothing. Holy schmorglitz, that's insane. Anyway, meanwhile, on the mainland, on our homeland, FBI Director Kash Patel. Early this morning, FBI and partners arrested 7 individuals on a 10-count indictment for allegedly targeting the University of Michigan leaders and businesses in eastern Michigan region with violent threats and attacks. The indictment alleges that after the October 7, 2023 Hamas terrorist attack on Israel, these individuals, a small group of college-aged adults, engaged in a coordinated campaign of violent criminal acts seeking to pressure University of Michigan leaders and other businesses in eastern district of Michigan to cut off all ties with Israel. You mean to tell me terrorists were doing terrorism? That's crazy. The subjects allegedly vandalized the victims' property, spray painted their homes with messages like Intifada and Free Palestine. Dude, yeah, I'm sure that spray paint freed Palestine. It really worked out well. Left threatening notes on doors, broke windows of victims' homes, throwing glass jars filled with chemicals while children slept inside. They deliberately chose the one-year anniversary of Hamas's attack to engage in some of the most visible criminal acts, including one subject who specifically targeted the Bloomfield Township Jewish Federation on October 7, 2024. On the same day, another subject employed by the university vandalized the university president's home. Understand, this is an employee of the university engaging in acts of terrorism to honor Hamas. All right. The alleged criminal targeting occurred for over a year, beginning approximately March 2024, continuing until April 2025. FBI Detroit and our partners pursued a thorough, detailed investigation of the case. Subjects have been charged for an alleged role in conspiracies to transmit threats in interstate and foreign commerce. And here comes the nuclear bomb. Chaos agent Moshen Mahdawi, a 34-year-old Columbia University student, spent 15 years as an undergrad student. Who is paying for this? What NGO in America was paying for this fucker to be for 15 years an undergrad so he can get some sort of visa so he can commit acts of terror on our borders, right, in our country? It's finally being deported back to Jordan. Mahdawi was the leading anti-Semitic agitator in Columbus riots post-October 7th, whatever. Point is, I'm really glad that we're actually deporting these retards. We don't need them in our country. You see how they abuse, like, our visa system to get in here, and so much of the bullshit that goes on in our country, the uprisings, the riots, the protests, it's organized. It's organized by these NGOs that pays them to do it and pays foreigners with terrorist ideologies to come into our country and stir shit up. This guy should have never been in America. He's from Jordan. He was here for 15 years as an undergrad student. That's unheard of. Who paid for this? But he's here doing his thing. He's here and he's queer. He's ready to rumble, and he's just leading protests and committing acts of terror. We don't need to put up with this shit. This is insane. Now, of course, there's a little bit of drama in the Middle East area that happens every once in a while. Erdogan, the Turkish president guy, said Damascus and Beirut are Istanbul's sister cities. Turkey's security does not only begin with Hatay, it begins from Aleppo, from Damascus, from Beirut. We will show no tolerance for any fait accompli in the countries of our brothers. We will turn a blind eye against our brothers no longer. You know, it's like, all right, yeah, so he's mad that Israel is bombing terrorists in Lebanon. Netanyahu responded, the anti-Semitic dictator Erdogan, who is committing genocide against the Kurds, fun fact, supports the Hamas terrorist organization, oppresses his own people, and imprisons political rivals. It is the last person who can lecture the state of Israel on morality. The state of Israel and the IDF, most moral army in the world. All right, bro. All right, bro. We'll continue to take forceful action against Iran and its proxies, which threaten the Middle East and the entire world. Anyway, so there's a little beef going back and forth. Interestingly enough, the International Criminal Court prosecution that's claiming that, you know, Netanyahu's a war criminal and stuff like that, he actually had to step down, this Harim Khan guy. He had to step down as chief prosecutor and because of claims of sexual misconduct. Apparently, there's like this, but that's the UN. That's just what you have to deal with the UN. It is an incredibly corrupt organization, all about one thing, just dominance. Reza Pahlavi, the crown prince of Persia, the guy who needs to come back into power immediately. Our Iran today more than ever needs the unity of national forces, whether with foreign support or without it. Iran's fate is in our own hands. We are stronger than the worn out and exhausted regime. We are more determined and steadfast than the mercenaries sent to the streets for propaganda shows. And hopefully Iran can rise up and overthrow their evil regime. And I do pray for the Iranian people. When it comes to our involvement, I want to kill all of our threats, and hopefully that can assist you guys to take your country back. But this is insane. The developments are crazy. And for the greatest video potentially ever is this lady screaming about how no bomb can reach us because Allah protects us.
که شنیدی صدای متجاوز به خاک وطن، صدای متجاوز به صدای حق و حقیقت است. آنچه که ملاحظه کردید، صدایی که شنیدید، فضای غبارآلوده استودیو
literally gets bombed in the middle of the broadcast. You can't make this shit up. To quote Donald Trump, praise be to Allah, we're taking Karg Island. Now, the ever-growing PSYOP is in full swing. The Donald seems like he's winning the war to the point that either we're going to conquer Karg Island and obliterate all of Iran, or they are going to completely capitulate. So the infinite demoralization campaign financed by foreign actors that hate our country is literally doing their absolute best to destroy us. So the question is, are you low IQ enough to fall for this slop? 2,
an end to Israeli bombing and murder in Lebanon. So in the eyes of the region,
The
whatever...
reason why Israel is bombing Lebanon, by the way, is because Hezbollah, a terrorist organization backed by Iran, operates in Lebanon and has killed hundreds of Israelis, bombed them thousands of times, and also contributed to the murder of 650,000 people in Syria, which is a really big number of people.
Whatever people hate about Iran, and there's a lot that the Arabs hate about Iran.
You know, like how, for example, Iran bombed every Arab country in the region, or murdered 40,000 of their own people, or funded Hezbollah, which, as I've mentioned, killed 650,000 people in Syria, or funded the Houthis, which contributed to the death of 377,000 people in Yemen, or funded Hamas, which started this whole bullshit. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why they hate Iran, actually.
They are uniquely standing up for the Palestinians.
You mean they funded the terrorist organization that started the war that got the Palestinians killed? If that's what you mean by standing up for them, then I suppose.
The mass murder in Gaza, the genocide in Gaza, and history will record it as that. It is genocide.
Oh, boy.
It is a state policy to eliminate a people and transfer them out of a land.
So why didn't that happen? Israel had the ability. If they wanted to genocide them, they could have done that shit in 15 minutes. Why didn't they? Can you explain to me why, in this genocide that happened, where 70% of the buildings, according to the UN, was damaged, why was only 1% of the population killed? Again, I'm not minimizing the death of any child that dies. War sucks, and the fault for this war is on Hamas, who started the war. But the real shocker is Iran murdered over 40,000 people in 72 hours. Iran, in 72 hours, murdered more people than civilians that died over 3 years of conflict in Gaza. And you know, Mr. Carlson is just more than a... Oh, they murdered their own people. But that's okay, because they were against the Islamic State. Bro, are we supposed to take this shit seriously? Is this guy really fighting for the moral good? Look, I don't support the Israeli government with, like, so many of their policies. One of the policies that I like, actually, is killing the terrorists that are trying to kill you. Numbers came out, 70% of the people that died in Gaza were actually Hamas terrorists. 30% were civilian collateral damage. You know, honestly, does that sound like a genocide, a policy to exterminate a whole people?
Genocide, by any definition, is the biggest thing that is happening at this point in history. It is the biggest thing. It is the thing about which the most will be written going forward. How did the rest of the world watch this and do nothing? How did the United States back this?
Because the United States is moral and good.
How did the United States become the only country on the planet, other than Israel, to approve of this genocide? These are questions normal people will ask fairly soon. They're asking them now.
You're right. And, you know, Mr. Tucker Carlson's audience of infinite brown people, they have a lot to say.
And Iran, for all of its many faults, as an American, it's painful to admit this, has tried to do something about it.
You know, Iran killed thousands of Americans, 40,000 of their own people. They contributed to every war in the region. Literally, every war in the region over the last 47 years was started by Iran. And this dude's going to be like, as an American, I have to say, Iran is standing up for the moral good. This is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. Do you know that 100% of the countries that were bombed by Israel were countries that bombed Israel first? It's the craziest idea I've ever heard in my life, to think that Iran is the moral good.
So long term, that doesn't hurt Iran, whatever their motive for doing that.
Right.
That does not hurt Iran. That enhances Iran as a...
This is the craziest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, literal propaganda for the Islamic regime. And, like, you got to start wondering why this is happening. Now, this was in Tucker Carlson's show with John Mersheimer, all right? So, John Mersheimer, interesting character. We have to see some of his other takes, all right? Just to understand who John Mersheimer was, all right, we have to understand what his thoughts are in regards to Maduro in Venezuela.
And I think that, you know, you can talk about maybe sending in special forces teams that can decapitate the regime, or using air power or naval power to coerce Venezuela. But when you look carefully at these options, they don't spell success either. First of all, Maduro is going to be very hard to get.
Really?
To get at. He knows you're coming after him.
Really?
And he's going to do everything he can to hide.
And it didn't help.
And
so, yeah. So, again, this John Mersheimer, this is the expert the expert on geopolitics that Tucker Carlson had on, the guy that said there's no way America could possibly capture Maduro. There's no way it would go well for us at all. Well, anyway, that aged pretty poorly. But just understand, this is just a literal demoralization campaign for boomers. This is boomer slop demoralization shit. All right. Meanwhile, in Gaza, this is breaking news from just like a day or two ago. Hamas turns Gaza hospitals and schools into torture chambers as it reestablishes its police state. Gazans describe horrific interrogations and beatings. Videotape accounts by Palestinians seen here, blah, 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 etc., etc. It's almost like Hamas are fucking evil, rapist, pedophile, sex slaver retards. And it's really good that a lot of them were killed by Israel, actually. Because killing terrorists is actually a good thing. I know. You're supposed to flip your moral worldview on your head and be like, well, there's a man who's married to his cousin in Pakistan, and he has a very different stance. Oh. No, actually, I don't give a shit. I actually don't give a fuck about that guy's opinion. Terrorists should die. Anyway, moving on. The UN was also exposed recently. I covered this in an entire separate video. But 101 UN employees were involved in the October 7th massacre, or linked to Hamas's military wing. You mean to tell me the UN, 25% of which is Islamic countries, and another 50% of it are like the European countries that literally have to bow to the whims of Islam because of their immigration policies. You mean to tell me that they're working with terrorists? Wow. So we should really trust their unbiased analysis of the Gaza war. And they also don't say it's a genocide. Like, imagine, these guys worked with Hamas directly, and even they didn't rule it a genocide. Because it's so obviously not a genocide for anyone that has eyes. I mean, genocide is a really cool word, all right? It's the new libtard word for things. Holy shit, look at that fat bitch, the way she genocided a whole tub of ice cream. Yeah, it's the new word. It's really cool. Everything's a genocide. You know, it's a transgender genocide when you tell men they can't be women. All right, now Buckley Carlson, Tucker Carlson's husband, his brother, he went on Megyn Kelly's show. Right, literally, the entire Podcastistan universe is just like 10 people interviewing each other again and again. All right, so he went out there to say why we should be voting for Democrats.
Early prayers this morning was that the excellent voters of South Carolina will reject Lindsey Graham in this primary today and vote for Mark Lynch, and we'll see. I've seen some encouraging.
They didn't. Lindsey Graham won by a landslide because he got the Trump endorsement.
Numbers.
I hope you're right. I don't know. What do you think is going to happen with Graham Plattner from Maine, the state you have?
I think it seems inevitable he's going to be in.
He's going to beat Susan Collins.
Yeah. It seems like.
I mean, obviously, today's just a.
Now, Graham Plattner is not just a Democrat. He is a actual communist terrorist supporter that wants our troops to get killed by the Taliban. He's the guy, he has a Nazi tattoo, and he cheated on his wife with like 6 women. All right, let's just understand the Democrat candidate that Buckley Carlson is supporting.
Primary, but the general's coming up in November.
And how will that affect the GOP caucus, I wonder, because she's such a reliable conservative.
I mean, I know you've been talking a lot about the uniparty lately, and you have a decent point. It's like, how will any of this affect any of our lives in any material way?
Yo, such a good point. The left wants to open the borders and import 30 million brown people, and the right wants to close the borders. Literally the same thing, right?
When 88% of the country wants, transparency in elections, they want safe elections, and they've just given up on that. I guess now they have given up on it completely. It's dead.
They have not. It's not dead. They're still trying to work it out. Trump is inserting it into a different reconciliatory budget, but if any of these people actually cared about our country, they would talk about that a lot.
SAVE Act will not be revived. That's what I understand.
Yeah, no, it's dead.
But
yeah, they're both literally wrong. He's still including the SAVE Act into a different financing budget where they'll only need 51% of the votes. All right, but it's insane that they don't talk about this.
On a voice vote, they can basically confirm that our military and Israel's military should be merged.
Yeah, that we're now, there's some sort of merger happening, especially when it comes to intelligence.
Some sort of our militaries are getting merged. That's crazy. Well, I've already covered this in a previous video, but the merge that they're talking about is the Israeli government is literally giving us their tech. Like how will our military deal with cartels digging tunnels underground? Well, we know Israel dealt with tunneling retards for a very, very long time. Jews and tunnels have a lot of history. So we are getting their tech and their know-how. That's not a military merge. Holy shit, these people are retarded. So now he wants to vote for Graham Plattner, the Nazi communist defund the police guy, because, hey, at least it's a uniparty and they don't like Israel. Holy fuck. They're using, like, literally the most brown-coded politics I've ever heard in my life. Well, the Democrats don't like Israel, so therefore we should destroy and rape our entire country. Holy shit, do not fall for the op. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, another one of these large anti-Trump voices, was just on Russian state TV.
Я верила президенту, когда он говорил, что не будет больше ни...
Yeah, anyway, so, like, yeah, totally. This isn't an op. All right. Now, there was this insane debate that just went on over the Iran conflict. And I was shocked mostly by the fact that the people saying that Trump betrayed America by going to war with Iran know nothing about the actual geopolitics. That was the biggest twist to me ever.
They declared war on us when they took a bunch of American hostages during the 1979
and bombed the barracks. Where did that happen? Where did that happen?
In Tehran. Who cares?
So we were in their country. Okay.
He said, where did that happen? He didn't know. He didn't know our embassy was attacked and we had people taken hostage by Iran? He didn't know that Iran was literally attacking us for 47 years? What are we even doing?
Do you not care about... Wait.
Everyone's if an Iranian military installment was here and we took them prisoner, would you accept that?
Are you stupid?
Would you like that?
It wasn't a military. What are you talking about?
So again, war in the Middle East ends up with our soldiers getting held hostage.
We have embassies in every country on the planet, basically. Right? All of a sudden, an enemy nation would just take our people in our embassy hostage. That would be pretty fucking awful. And he's like, oh, we shouldn't have been there. We shouldn't have been there in the first place. Oh my God, what are we even doing?
Again, this is why I don't support it. I don't want our soldiers dying in the Middle East. I don't want our soldiers being held hostage in the Middle East.
It has nothing to do with soldiers. It's an embassy. Before 1947, we had great relationship with Iran. All right, but then the Islamic Republic just showed up and basically took over the entire place, installed their Sharia police state where they started executing women for not wearing hijabs in public. All right, that was in 1979. Before that, we were under relatively good relations with Iran. All right, this is crazy.
Middle East. I don't want to spend more blood and treasure in the Middle East.
Was it a military barracks that they kidnapped over 40 Americans in 1979?
Yeah.
No, it was the embassy.
No.
Okay, so what's your point?
You said it was a military.
Because embassies and military barracks are very different things. Oh my God. Oh my God. And these are the people that are talking about Iran every day, 24/7.
Military barracks, that was an act of...
No, you said that. I'm saying I don't want any troops in the Middle East.
I didn't say that.
I said I don't want any troops in the Middle East. Do you want troops in the Middle East?
It was an embassy.
No. Do you want troops in the Middle East?
It was an embassy.
Oh, wait, you want troops?
Absolutely some of the most shocking shit I've ever heard in my entire life. Anyway, it gets even more embarrassing, actually.
Iran is very close to having a nuclear weapon. If that's been repeated for 45 years, are we allowed to question if that was true?
I mean, you're allowed to question whatever you want, but if you actually read and actually learn about the history, then, I mean,
So hold on, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's do the history. Lied about weapons of mass destruction. Lied about bases in incubators. Lied about nuclear weapons.
Objectively not true that all the intelligence agencies...
You're going to get fact-checked after this, and there's going to be a viral clip of you going, you're a liar, Clint, and they're going to...
And by the way, Mayorkas never got a pardon, just so you know.
Can I tell you, I don't care if they have a nuclear or not,
Brendan, I think you made the point.
Let me just go back. You guys act like everything happens in a vacuum and everything's black and white and there's no nuance. Let me finish. Because you called me a liar, so I'm explaining it. You're saying I'm misinformed that I'm a liar, but if I'm so misinformed a liar, why don't you make me look stupid and let me explain myself? Correct?
Go for it.
Perfect, so stop interrupting.
That'd be great.
There were multiple operations like Stuxnet, which set back the nuclear ambitions of Iran. There was also an
Stuxnet was an Israeli cyber attack, by the way, in like 2005.
Assassination on the top nuclear scientists. So yes, Iran has been close to developing a nuclear weapon, but you're acting like Iran's just been developing a nuclear weapon, and there hasn't been multiple instances where both the U.S., Israel, and Europeans have gone in and set it back like we did in Operation
I'm going based off of the intel agencies that Trump has in place.
Like with Stuxnet, and like with the killing of Mohammed, I forget his name, in his car using an AI machine weapon. In terms of your claim that Iran was not developing a nuclear weapon, Iran is the only country in the world with 60% nuclear enrichment that does not possess a nuclear weapon.
Correct.
The deputy speaker of the Iranian parliament quite literally said verbatim, we were trying to develop a nuclear weapon in secret, and they discovered it. I mean, there's so many you don't need an underground facility in multiple different locations of your country to develop it's like the movie The Dictator when Sacha Baron Cohen goes, we're developing a nuclear weapon for peaceful purposes. I mean, there's so much evidence. In 2018, an entire trove of documents were stolen from Tehran, and Israel, it was the Mossad, Israel brought in Harvard professors who had previously taken your position that there is no evidence to suggest, and brought in foreign journalists to review them, and they reported in 2018 that Iran actively was developing a nuclear missile program. You don't wait until an enemy that chants death to America to develop nuclear weapons. You stop it before it happens.
There's so many words, but it doesn't change the fact that our intel agencies said that they were not developing one. That's a fact too.
So our intelligence agent, Tulsi Gabbard, literally testified before Congress saying that they had not made the decision to nuclearize it. She did right after that, because you guys love to clip this, she did right after that say that no other country is enriching until 60%, and Iran does pose a threat to the world order. She did say that. So clip the entire thing, number one. Number two.
I didn't clip it at all.
Bro.
But you quoted half of that.
You only quoted half of that, so that's a clip.
Quotes half a sentence. I didn't clip it.
We do have a whole segment about Iran coming up. We do have a whole segment.
That's great, but if
Yeah, so anyway, just absolutely miserable. Absolutely miserable. I feel like I'm watching actual retards. That, like, they have their own, like, worldview, and that they say some shit that has no bearing in reality. It's like, it's the... I'm telling you, man, this is the men could identify as women for like right-wing people. Like, it's actually unbelievable.
Line of 90 days ago. That's not a fucking win. It's a massive sacrifice.
Dad, who said that? That's the goal, though.
They
were just trading in the U.S. dollar. That doesn't mean we ran the strait. That's just the currency.
We're not going to run the strait anyways, because they can always control the drones.
I would like the JCPOA back. When did I ever say that?
Because you want them to not have a nuke. That's what the fucking JCPOA was.
JCPOA is the Obama deal.
You didn't hear me the first time, so I'll restate it. JCPOA.
I don't need to hear it, bro. They had the JCPOA and they didn't develop a nuke.
You're just lying. Like the JCPOA.
They didn't develop a nuke.
They didn't develop a nuke because of concerted efforts in terms of cyber hacking, which we've already been over, and assassinations against the top nuclear scientists.
There was inspections. There was regular inspections for years.
So you are aligned more with Obama's foreign policy, is what you're saying.
On Iran, absolutely.
Okay.
Obama was absolutely right about the JCPOA.
Bro, we are getting based right-wingers praising Obama for basically doing a pinky promise with them and giving them billions of dollars.
It was the best thing he ever did.
It's just lies. Like, the JCPOA fully allowed them to have multiple underground facilities, as they do today, and develop as much nuclear enrichment as possible. No, there wasn't. The IAEA
You're a liar. You're a liar.
Anyone watching this, go online and see what the IAEA said themselves.
And the IAEA themselves said that they enriched uranium to over 60%. It's the most shocking thing in the world. I can't believe this is real. It really is insane. Now, Candace Owens has been losing her mind. All right, absolutely wild to learn Donald Trump called Charlie to reprimand him about his coverage of the Epstein files on July 12th, the day after, I keep insisting, made a decision to kill Charlie. All right, so now Donald Trump tried to kill Charlie Kirk over the Epstein files. All right, I guess throw it in. Throw it in the bin, all right? It was Turning Point USA, and it was also Israel, and it was Egyptian planes, and it was Sumerian time travelers, and Donald Trump all worked together to kill Charlie Kirk because of various nebulous reasons. Dude, what the fuck are we doing, man? This shit's insane. Now, Candace Owens was just in Russia, and she was murdered on the actual media.
If you don't understand what is going on here, when Candace goes to Russia and is a guest of the state at this economic forum, is attending these different TV hits with RT, and she's talking about how surprised she is that it's a beautiful country and that the CIA must have lied to her all of these years about what Russia is like. If you fall for this, you are the mark for this kind of propaganda.
Bro. All right, so that's the little clip from the media segment that she clipped out, and then I'll show you the context.
This is genuinely mental unwellness. I really do.
It is mental unwellness that our biggest podcasters are going to Russia to glaze the Russian government and talk about how good it is.
Believe Zionism rots your brain.
Zionism. The Jews are convincing you that Russia is actually the bad guy. Bro! Do people fall for this?
Candace Owens,
all right, now you got to see the context for the clip.
She is vile, is not that stupid either. She actually knows what she is doing, and she is aligning herself with a group of people who have decided to embrace anti-Americanism for the purpose of reshaping American politics. Candace Owens can easily Google and find out that Russia has a higher abortion rate than the United States. It has a lower fertility rate and a lower marriage rate and booming numbers of Islam and declining Christianity. She can find that out.
That's right. Everyone knows
that.
that.
And when you
everyone that actually knows things about geopolitics knows this is true. And Russia fucking sucks.
Say that she's just someone who asks questions. Good for her. She doesn't want answers. She doesn't want answers to the questions that she has.
Damn.
The only thing that she wants to do is plant seeds of doubt amongst people in her audience so that they will continue to fund her with YouTube revenue. That's what she's doing. And it's sad. All right. Hunter Biden is nowhere near being welcome into polite society again, which is why he is on the Candace Owens show, because that is the only place for him where
I got to give you a little
where he can get a reputation rehab and read a Bible verse while holding her hand, and she looks like she wants to date him. She's like fawning over him as he reads.
Dude, the media is fucking killing her. This is the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my life, because I fucking hate the media. This is just insane. Dude, I can't believe that she actually did that and says that Donald Trump tried to kill Yeah, Charlie Kirk. Cenk Unger is also rewriting history. Iran is back to bombing us because we were bombing them because they were bombing us because Israel was bombing them in Lebanon. How about we leave? We have zero interest in Iran. None. Oh my God. How much are we going to suffer from Israel? Israel didn't strike Iran until they struck Israel. All right, that's one thing. All right, like, it's just not true at all. The idea that Iran just loves us and they've killed thousands of us over the years is complete insanity. But like, it's wild. Now, this clip was going really viral. So I want to show this to you, but not for the reason you expect. So here's some Palestinian, streamer agitator guy trying to get a clip. Had to go into Jerry Seinfeld to ask him to drop a free Palestine after the Knicks game.
That's the old dude. Oh, Jerry Seinfeld. What up, Seinfeld? What up? Can we get a free Palestine? Can we get a free Palestine? Come on, give us one free Palestine.
It doesn't exist.
Look at his face. He's completely fucking aura-mogged. That's crazy. Bro, and he could have hit him back with some sort of comeback, but he had nothing. Now, what Jerry Seinfeld means by that Palestine doesn't exist is that there was never, ever a country called Palestine. That's just not a real thing. Palestine actually means invader in Hebrew, which is why they were called the Philistines in the Bible. When the Romans conquered the area, they renamed the area as Palestine after invader, basically to shit on the Jews that they just defeated. All right, and as time went on, eventually it became the Ottoman Empire. Eventually it became the British Empire. It was under the British mandate. It was never an actual country. Palestine was never real. In fact, a lot of the people that call themselves Palestinians are actually just Egyptian or Jordanian, not Palestinian, because there is no such thing as a Palestinian ethnicity. Just a little bit of controversial history for you guys that's completely objectively true. But the funniest part is, like... Why are you fucking annoying random people to get into your political shit? All right, again, this is the most third world movement ever of all time. And every person that falls into this trap is completely fucking owned by the third worlders that are emotionally gaslighting them. Now, guess who gets mad at this? That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar is really mad about this. Wow. And the most third world movement in the history of time. The Free Palestine movement, which exists as a Trojan horse to hijack and emotionally manipulate liberal white women in colleges to get onto their anti-Western civilization train, takes another victim. So Ilhan Omar, third worlder, had this to say.
And Palestinians do exist. They are real people. They are ethnic to the land in which they belong, and Israel is the one that is taking their land, not the Palestinians.
Oh, she's so fucking mad. It's crazy. So the funniest thing about this, personally, is that if you look at, like, ethnic roots, obviously Jews have a much more ethnic root in the Levant, in Israel-Palestine territory than the so-called Palestinians do. That is really not up for debate. A DNA test actually proves this. What we call the Palestinians are Arabs who come from, get ready, Arabia. Yeah, that's right. They're not actually remotely ethnically from the land. All right, this was a gigantic psyop once again to try to manipulate you. But that's one. And two, I don't actually care who's ethnically from the land. Colonialism is just based, actually. That's right. The real Native Americans, that's the white European Christians that made America. But the real reason why I wanted to show you this clip is because Ilhan Omar fell for the ultimate trap. Palestine is for the Palestinians, but England is not for the English. Why the fuck are you in our country? Go back to fucking Somalia. Ethno-nationalism only exists if you're a 75 IQ third worlder inbred retard, but not if you're actually one of the creators of the greatest civilization known to man. Ethno-nationalism for me, but not for thee. So brave of Ilhan Omar to take a stand for the Irish, kicking the migrants out of their communities. So based of her, actually. Now, on to issues that actually do matter. After Carmelo Anthony was literally found guilty for murder because, he murdered a guy, premeditated, goes up to a guy, kills him, white kid, kills him, feels good about it, raises money, the whole community supports him because he killed a white kid. I start to think that a lot of black people just really don't like the fact that it's illegal to kill white people. I know, this is apparently a controversial take. Now, I know, rhetoric like that might disturb you immensely, but that's why I say it, because I want it normalized, because I want people to have these discussions. This video will radicalize you. So this is a defense attorney talking about how it's unfair that a murderer is going to jail.
First and foremost, the one thing that I would ask for people to do at this moment is pray for the Anthony family.
I am praying. I am praying that they change their mind and execute Carmelo Anthony because he's a murderous piece of shit. And I would rather him be dead than me have to pay for his fucking slop in jail with my tax dollars. So please God, let America get a little more based and reinstitute the death penalty for premeditated murder. Please God, amen.
Because they have been legally lynched for the last year.
Legally lynched is when someone goes to jail for murder.
And
now, I want you to give me a different conclusion, because I'm going to show you someone that disagrees with me about this later in the video. But I want you to tell me a different conclusion. What conclusion can you draw from this other than some black people just want it to be legal to kill white people? All right, try to figure this out in a way that you can explain to me any other reasonable explanation for what's going on.
more so by this slaughterhouse of a courthouse as well.
Slaughterhouse of a courthouse is when someone goes to jail for murder.
As the family of the Metcalfs. So the energy right now is very white supremacy.
It's white supremacy when you arrest someone for murder. If that's true, then we need more white supremacy.
They have shown up to be the pigs that they display with hate.
You're a hateful pig if you arrest someone for murder.
Are celebrating the loss of life and the loss of freedom. So
no, actually, we're mourning the loss of life, you know, because Austin Metcalf was murdered by a savage barbarian. Okay, all right. Now, I'm just trying to make this clear. So we are mourning the loss of life. The punishment for the murderer is should be death penalty, but unfortunately, it's just jail.
So that's the energy. We have a devastated family who didn't know that they was going to have to let their son go back into a holdover.
Okay, so what about the devastated family that son is dead because he was murdered by a savage animal? What about that family? Oh, you don't care because they're white people? So you're just a crazy racist? Look, MAGA, make Africans go away. No, I'm kidding. But what I have to say is, you're just a racial supremacist. You literally are. I feel like I'm dealing with warring African tribes.
Because we have an overzealous prosecutor.
Overzealous prosecutor is put a guy in jail for murder? Hello? What are we even talking about?
Who lied?
And this is an attorney? Bro, we should take away her actual lawyer license. This is insane.
Throughout this trial, who put on liars as witnesses.
All the witnesses were liars. The security footage was fake. He admitted it himself that he killed him, so that was probably also not true.
In order to be a saving grace for the white community so that they can win an election.
An election?
That's what it feels like right now.
An election?
We already see the prosecutor.
What are we even talking about? All right, so anyway, and then they go back and forth. Of course, both of them, this is her and her inbred host, and they talk about how important it is, obviously, that killing white people should be legal and constitutional. I would love to hear another explanation. So Carmelo Anthony's parents speak out. These are people who raised a murderer, by the way. Let me remind you who we're dealing with.
So do you believe your son received a fair trial?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
All right, so the guy murders someone, and it's unfair when he goes to jail. Got it?
Not. And we're going to keep fighting. Mm-hmm. We will not stop fighting for justice for my son.
Keep crying. Keep crying. Should have taught him not to kill people.
As parents, have you all struggled with guilt? You know, asking yourselves, is there anything differently? I know, Kayla, you said you wish you had gone to that track meet. Is there anything that you both wish you could have done differently?
I wish I would have just been rebellious. I was told, don't talk to this person. Don't talk to this person. I feel like it was just a setup. Now,
You wish he was more rebellious? Your son murdered someone.
So they told us, go get white attorneys. Every black person I went to, a white attorney. No white attorney, they set them up, pushed them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what attorney you would have gotten. When you murder someone in cold blood, you go to jail. Unfortunately, you don't get executed, but you go to jail. And now I'm going to keep going, by the way, because I want you to get a little more radicalized. All right, if you watch this video and you become a little more racist, then that's a job well done.
Ain't no fucking judicial justice for black people. How many motherfucking...
He's a murderer, by the way.
Decades and decades have to go by where you don't receive that. Your justice is fucking frontier justice.
Okay, move to Africa. If you don't like the way it works when that murderers go to jail for killing white people, you should probably just move to Africa.
They kill one of y'all, you kill one of them.
What the fuck does this even mean? This is a guy calling, all right, for the record, this is a guy calling for the black community to murder a white guy in vengeance for Carmelo Anthony going to jail for murdering a white guy. All right, understand what we're dealing with here.
our toughest soldiers ain't gonna do shit.
Good?
I'm talking to you. You ain't gonna do shit.
That's right.
But kill up on your own.
That's right. That's right. Sit down. Down, boy. Down, boy. Down, little boy. Stop chimping out, brother. It's okay. It's okay. Chill out. Chill out, man. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just sit down. Just sit down. A murderer went to jail. It's okay. It's okay. Anyway, and this is just people losing their mind. It's racist when you arrest a guy for murder. Yeah, this shit's insane. This will make more people racist than you could possibly imagine. Jasmine Crockett, who I showed you a couple of her clips in the past, in my previous video on this situation, of her basically talking about how black women suffer more than the Metcalfs who lost their child to a black murderer.
Black women, especially black women who have black male children.
That's how it works, yep.
Live in fear and agony every single day. A fear and agony that I promise you, the Metcalfs probably never spent a day living that way.
Except they had their son murdered by a savage barbarian. That's the difference, actually. These black women that are allegedly living in fear and agony, it's fear and agony of their own creation. They're not victims. They are equal to every other person in this country. Thank God. But yeah, no, it's delusional. These are actually delusional people that just want more and more. And I am really at the point that if you're really that unhappy with the way the system is in America, you know, we live in a world where you have the right to move to Africa, okay? I really feel that way, right? If you really hate the idea that in America you can't just kill white people with impunity, you should probably move to Africa, all right? It's, I guess, more up your alley, I suppose. Now, this is a congresswoman, all right? A congresswoman talking about how, well, the knife to kill Austin Metcalf wasn't a deadly weapon because it was only 3 inches.
Was it a switch? I don't know what he had.
It was like
All right, so she knows nothing about the case?
It seemed like it was a multi-tool,
It was
almost
not.
like a Swiss Army.
Like with like with the little scissors, and everything.
No, it wasn't.
And whatever.
Okay.
So it was small.
Reality doesn't matter to these people.
Well, I would have argued the size of it alone, you wouldn't even think it's a deadly weapon.
But it killed the guy, so, well, you would think, actually, it's a deadly weapon. Anyway.
If a 300-pound man is beating me.
No one was beating Carmelo Anthony. He's just a savage.
Like on top of me and beating me down.
But that didn't happen.
I'm not limited to fist.
All right, so now this is her entertaining the idea that she would also have stabbed Austin Metcalf for being white. Pretty awesome. All right, now the thing is, you'd think she'd change up her tune, but no, she doubles down.
35 years for a kid who
a murderer, a savage, a barbarian. We should execute him, honestly.
Decided to go under a tent that was not his team's tent as it was raining, and simply didn't want to be put out in the rain by some random kid that he didn't know.
Yeah, but that wasn't the major issue. It was the whole stabbing him in the heart and murdering him in cold blood thing.
Who was larger than him. Listen, a lot of
someone larger than him told him to please leave the tent that he wasn't supposed to be in, so he stabbed him in the heart.
people don't know what it is to live as a black person in this country, but
oh my God, so leave. The world is open to you, okay? Botswana accepts American passports. Okay, you go in there with a pocket full of cash, you'll become the new fucking richest person there. You'll be the Elon Musk of Botswana. Okay, leave. If America's so fucking awful to that point, and it's like, oh, but they were brought here against their will. Yes, and now they live in the greatest civilization known to man, all right? They're given equal opportunity to do all of the things. There was a black president. Shut the fuck up, dude. Oh my God.
Just like you.
This is a multi-millionaire in Congress, by the way, okay? She's worth like $30 million, and she's sitting here talking about inequality. Get out of here, bro.
Give the benefit of the doubt to so many police officers when they go out and they shoot some black unarmed person, even though they are trained. The fact that there was little to no mercy seen.
Why would there be mercy? This is a murderer. Well, this is the craziest shit in the world. It's just tribal politics every single time. What is going on? Now, Austin Metcalf's father is very unhappy about this. We'll look into this in just a bit. Just a bit. You'll see this one a little bit later because it is fucking insane what this man had to go through. But especially because the response to all this is wild. So there's a black guy punching a random white guy because he thinks he was on Carmelo Anthony's jury and he wasn't.
Hey, wasn't you on jury selection?
No, he wasn't. Man. No, he wasn't. Seriously. No.
Jail him for assault. All right, this is a guy who literally filmed himself assaulting a white guy because he really doesn't think he's actually going to have consequences. And the truth of the matter is he probably won't. Because we do live in an unjust society where people do believe somehow in some equality of outcome bullshit. But this is crazy. So yes, I believe this guy personally believes that murdering white people should not result in a death penalty. This is fucking behavior. I'm not going to lie. And that's not because he's black. That's because he just beat a guy in public for literally no reason because he wanted a murderer to get out of jail. And that's what would do.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
He was on jury selection.
No, he's a vet, dude.
Irrelevant, by the way, if he was or wasn't on jury selection. That actually doesn't matter at all.
Vet. He's a vet. He ain't been on jury selection.
I ain't worried about that.
Fuck you.
You gonna die.
Quit, dude.
You gonna die.
You on jury? When you on jury?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't.
You on jury selection?
For the record, even if he was on jury selection, based that he said that he should go to jail, based. But this is insane. You know, and they're posting shit like this. Hey, MAGA, it's me again. This is Irina Zarutska and Carmelo, no, not Carmelo Anthony, the fucking retard that murdered her. What an interesting perspective. What an interesting framing. Like, how can you interpret this other than some black people just want to kill white people and don't want to be punished for it? Like, what other interpretation could you possibly have? All right, so this is a black woman in Tampa, Florida, joining the trend of beating up random white people in vengeance for Carmelo Anthony going to jail.
Hey, bro. Weren't you on motherfucking jury selection?
Motherfucking bitch.
Weren't you on jury selection?
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you was.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you was.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you was.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, the hell you was.
And even if he was, all right, again, behavior. Just going up to a guy and slapping him in public because he's white and because a murderer went to jail. Like, understand what this movement is. So a new trend that the EBT community decided to get into is posting themselves peeing on Austin Metcalf's grave. All right, this is an innocent man who was murdered by a savage animal, and now you have people peeing on his grave because the murderer went to jail. Now, you explain to me another interpretation other than they actually just want to be able to kill white people with impunity. And no, this isn't every black person, but it's the people that we're looking at right now. Explain to me, to prove to me that this guy doesn't believe that. No, sorry, dude. Congressman Randy Fine says that Carmelo Anthony deserves the death penalty. Anything less is unacceptable, and that's based, actually. All right. It's actually just correct. Yeah, true. I agree. And no one wants to actually talk about this, but yes, it might sound racist, but it's objectively true. Firearm homicide rate per 100,000, U.S. black people is 20 per 100,000. 3 times higher than the second place, which is Hispanic. All right, you know, over 10 times higher than whites. All right, just understand what we're dealing with in these communities. Understand that these cultures fucking suck. They do. I'm sorry. They actually suck. Based on my subjective worldview, they suck. Not the race. I'm not talking about genetics. I'm not talking about immutable characteristics. Okay, you hear me, YouTube? I'm not doing any of that. But that culture fucking sucks if you're killing people, 10 times the amount of your other culture in, like, across the city. All right, you have one city, you have the white community, and you have the ghetto community specifically, all right? And for some suspicious reason, in the ghettos, there's 10 times the amount of gun violence and gun deaths. Yeah, that culture fucking sucks. Anyway, Bruce Drop Him Off, that's a streamer saying, I stand with Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony's a murderer savage, by the way. Every picture you see of this young black man, his head up, don't let them break you, bro. Oh, he's gonna get raped a lot in prison. See, I think we could avoid that whole situation by just executing him, but hey, not everyone is as moral as I am. And I honestly have gotten to the point that I see a tweet like this, and I read it as, I really want black people to kill white people with impunity. And I'm honestly, I really want you to explain to me another perspective you could have. Because this guy fucking sucks. He's a murderer. He murdered a guy in cold blood. And you should be executed. And these people literally want him free on the street. All right. So explain to me any other perspective. Hey, I'm waiting. People are trying, but I'm not hearing any. BLM influencer, followed by AOC, by the way, calls for black people to bring down the USA in response to Carmelo Anthony, a murderer, going to jail.
Anyway, so why would we continue to be peaceful martyrs to keep capitalism?
We're not fucking martyrs, all right? You're retards.
Supremacy going. We cannot live like this. This is not sustainable.
It's not sustainable when black people go to jail for crimes. See, we really wish that there was segregation again. That's what she's saying.
The American empire is falling anyway. So you have to make a choice now. Are you going to fall with it, or are you going to be a part of bringing it down and building something that is actually made within the image of marginalized people?
Yeah, but we don't want to make anything in the image of marginalized people. It seems like y'all think that actually murdering white people should be legal, and that fucking sucks, actually.
Especially Black and Indigenous people.
Especially Black people.
I believe that Black people can be responsible for themselves, govern themselves.
Okay, so then they should go to jail if they murder somebody, right?
Their own systems.
But do it. Literally do it. Show me one example of a prospering community like that anywhere. I also believe it can happen. I think every human being is made in the image of God. But show me one area where this happened. Blacks in America are the richest Black people in the world, in any country. Explain to me how that happened. All right, no, Cardi B, famous pop star lady. Wow, just freaking wow, disgusting. This is not justice. Did you try to make an example? Yes, arresting people for murder is making an example. All right, now understand the way the media has been trying to frame this. Perspective, Rittenhouse walked, but Anthony got 35 years. The cases differ, but America judges fear by tribe, not law. I don't know, maybe it's because Kyle Rittenhouse acted in self-defense and Carmelo Anthony is a cold-blooded, murderous animal. All right, Rittenhouse on video defends himself from a group of people rushing him, making it self-defense, was found not guilty. Anthony, by testimony of his peers, essentially stabbed Austin for being asked to leave. All right, one is self-defense, one is murder. They're not remotely equivalent, actually. This is crazy. All right, now this guy, Brad Palumbo, he's like some commentator guy. And honestly, I think he's a bit retarded on this one, I'm not gonna lie. All right, if you, here, let's see.
Black people sure are mad. They aren't allowed to kill white people without consequence. Wildest chimp out by far. That's a tweet with nearly 200,000 views. There's so much wrong with that, I don't know where to begin. If you are in any sort of unironic context using the term chimp out to refer to Black people being upset, I mean, that is objectively racist and vile.
No, it's not. It's because they're acting like chimps. I'm not referring to all Black people as I'm referring to the ones specifically that think you should be able to murder white people without punishment as because that's some behavior. You see, in the jungle, there aren't courts of justice. There aren't laws against murder in the jungle. You just care about your tribe, your family, your whatever, and therefore they lose their mind. They go on the offensive. This is Animal Kingdom 101. When a gets killed, the rest of the family doesn't sit there and ponder whether the that got killed deserved to get killed. They're just fucking angry. And you know what? That's what makes them not people. We have courts of laws. We have actual justice. I don't care what tribe you're from. If you are a murderer, you should die. And if you think that the murderer should walk free just because he's part of your tribe, well, then you're out.
You are comparing Black people to chimps, to animals.
No, I'm comparing people that want Carmelo Anthony freed to chimps, whether you're white or Black. Right? If you're a white guy that's supporting Carmelo Anthony, I think you're a too.
Or mocking them in a racially abusive way, and in the process belittling yourself and lowering yourself below any basic standard of decency.
No, I disagree. I don't actually believe in your standards of decency.
Of course. And two, here you are lumping. Obviously, there are some Black people who are. That describes very few people. They aren't allowed to kill white people without consequences. It's a straw man.
Oh, really? You're not allowed to kill white people without consequences?
Picture of what the people who support Carmelo, at least most of them, actually believe. A lot of them believe.
So what do they believe? Explain to me what they believe. I'm really glad we're getting another perspective. This is what I wanted.
He was defending himself. Now, if you think that's wrong,
well, they're wrong because literally all the evidence goes the other way. So if they were going to look at a real life situation where a man wasn't defending himself and he murdered somebody in cold blood in a premeditated fashion, and they're still going to say self-defense, I'm just not going to believe the words coming out of their mouth. Because their words are completely irrelevant to me. It's like saying, oh, Islam calls itself the religion of peace, so therefore we should just turn away from, like, the gang rapes and the suicide bombings. Just believe what they say. No reasonable person actually believes he acted in self-defense, and as proof of that, the entire jury all unanimously agreed that it wasn't self-defense. All the evidence proves that it wasn't self-defense. If they want to suspend their disbelief and they don't want to believe in reality, that's a them issue, and I think that's just an excuse because what they actually want is to be able to kill white people with impunity.
Wrong, that's fine. Or they think that he wasn't treated fairly in the judicial system because he's Black. If you disagree with that, as I do in this case at least, that's fine.
It's not a matter of disagreement. There's objective reality. I don't actually care about your retarded opinions when subjectively you cannot possibly view this as anything else. It is objectively true that this guy is a fucking murderer and it was not self-defense and now he's in jail. I'm really tired of people giving a pass to retards. I'm sorry. One more time, just to show you exactly what I'm talking about.
It's wrong, that's fine. Or they think that he wasn't treated fairly in the judicial system because he's Black. If you disagree with that, as I do in this case at least, that's fine, make your case. But you are, if you think—
No, it's not about fine, make your case. They're liars. They're not just wrong, they're lying because they don't even believe that.
If you're saying what they believe is that Black people should be able to kill white people with impunity.
That is what they believe, yes.
You are absolutely misrepresenting their position.
No, I am not. That is exactly what they want. And they're going to use whatever lie they possibly can to convince you that their position is actually self-defense. It's not, because there was no argument for self-defense to be made here.
And then when you take that a step further and ascribe that belief to Black people, even
I'm not describing it to Black people, just the people that support Carmelo Anthony.
Just some Black activists and some online commentators and some portion of the Black community. But honestly, I'm almost certain a huge majority of actual Black Americans would not share any of those sentiments.
I agree.
And we don't have any sort of data to suggest that these are widespread or uniform opinions. Then you are engaging in the same kind of collectivist, identitarian demonizing that we were just on, all these crazy activists and left-wingers and pro-Carmelo Anthony people for doing. So you are exactly the worst of the worst in terms of modeling and echoing the most base and disgusting tendencies of genuine racism. Other than that, you're doing amazing. Hope the Twitter attention was worth it.
Yeah, so I'm really glad that we have people posting alternative perspectives on stuff like this. But no, actually, I disagree with you. I think that the people that are supporting Carmelo Anthony are acting like animals. There is no reasonable argument to be made for self-defense. And the ones that use words like that are using words to manipulate you because what they actually want is to kill white people with impunity. If you're just going to take words like this at their face value, then what's the purpose of court systems? Reality isn't even real anymore. Hi, do you think 9/11 was bad? Well, I think that the terrorists were acting in self-defense. Okay, have a nice day. No, actually, reality is objective, all right? And I'm really tired of, like, this subjectivizing everything where, well, actually, their opinion is they have a different perspective. No, they fucking want you dead. Anyway, so you see people losing their mind. I deadass gotta look my sweet innocent son one day and explain to him that people hate us simply because we were born black. I'm sick, dog. No, they hate you if you're a murderer. All right, Shoeonhead responds, simply tell him not to murder people, and he should be fine, actually. Based, just correct. Now, left post, left watch, right? Left wing retweets this. Remember when Shoeonhead said was a leftist? Leftism is when you encourage black people to murder? I guess so. I guess that is what it looks like here. Because all cultures are equal, right, guys? All cultures are equal. The cultures that want to murder white people and also the cultures that want to rape white people are all equal. They're all equal, guys. What do you mean? Now, this is the stuff that no one wants to talk about because I see zero riots for stuff like this. Jonathan Pettigrew, 41-year-old, asks a teen, black guy, on an MTA bus to lower his phone volume. The teen kills him.
It started with an argument about someone yelling too loudly on his phone, and it ended in gunfire and a 41-year-old man dead, and it happened on an MTA bus. Surveillance video shows passengers running off that bus moments after gunshots rang out, including at least one rider with a baby stroller. According to police, the victim told the suspect to keep it down. An argument ensued, and then the gunman shot the victim.
Mamdani's New York City, by the way.
In his abdomen on a BX36 bus.
All right, so where are all the riots? Where are all the protests for this guy? This guy that was just murdered by a black guy because he didn't like that he was told to put the volume on his phone down and he murdered somebody. Where are the riots for this one? All right, what about this one? All the things I'm about to show you happened within the last day or two. All right, so Billy Schmidt was killed for his phone by youths in the hood on Friday in Philly. All right, what about this guy? Is this guy, are we going to have riots for this guy? Are we going to start burning shit down for him? All right, what about this guy? This couple, sweetest Mississippi couple, allegedly killed by burglars, 17, during a home invasion. All right, will there be protests for this murderer too? Maybe Jasmine Crockett could explain to us how this is self-defense, actually. Please, I would love to hear. So yes, actually, a lot of them just want to kill you. And they really don't want to get punished for killing you. And they'll justify the murder. And they'll use whatever, buzzwords that they get. Self-defense. They was just ganging up on this little angel. No, they weren't. He's a fucking savage monster, and he should be put out of his misery.
Honestly, people have been crashing the fuck out about Carmelo Anthony.
19-year-old Carmelo Anthony has been sentenced to 35 years in prison for murdering Austin Metcalf at a track meet in Texas last year.
I don't have an opinion.
Yeah, I think this lady actually just wants you to be able to kill white people with impunity. And therefore she is out.
That's what Carmelo was doing. Protecting his motherfucking self.
What is going on with this? Jasmine Crockett.
Black women live in fear and agony. A fear and agony that I promise you.
Fear of black people? I'm kidding.
The Metcalfs probably never spent a day living that way. And we're going to have just some real conversations about race in this country.
We're going to have some real conversations because it looks like some of these black people.
True. Looks like all the blacktivists believe that actually you could just kill white people and not get punished for it. That's what it seems like.
People racist as fuck.
Hey, weren't you on jury selection?
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Seriously.
Why do we put up with these animals? You can't have a normal society where you have people.
This guy should be in a box. All right, clearly not someone who is fit to be part of Western civilization, this guy. All right, he should be given an option. Asylum, jail, or deported. All right, I'll be real here. That guy should not be allowed to just roam around on the streets.
Running around punching you in the face. Somebody identifies you as white, thinks that you're on the jury for a trial that they didn't like the outcome for.
You was on jury selection for Carmelo Anthony? Oh, all right, my B. I thought you was on jurisdiction for my B.
And Cardi B obviously defending it as well. Wow, just wow, disgusting. This is not justice. This is trying to make an example.
I'm really glad that we have pop stars who have proclivities for spreading their legs in public. All right, I'm really glad we got the opinions of the online prostitutes. This one's huge.
It's illegal lynching. It's what I tell my 5 boys. Oh, here we go.
What do you want us to do at this point?
Just be fucking normal.
Yeah, don't stab people, actually.
I'm lost for words. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more.
Oh, you can tell them not to stab people.
Can't walk away no more.
You can't walk away? Why? They arrested the guy that was harassed.
No, bro. You can't even stab white people and get away with it no more. This is not fair. White supremacy is crazy. What, you can't even stab white people? Oh, my.
Harassing people. Oh, this is the guy, right?
That it was not a case about race, but you cannot deny
the overlay with the guy jumping. Time to go in the box.
And you're going to tell me that guy's not chipping out? Oh, you're being racist for... No, no. It has nothing to do with race. And even the white guys that support Carmelo Anthony are also... All right? Like, I'm being real here. I am... I am an anti-racist. Anyone could...
How's America getting so crazy? Because it's allowed to be crazy.
That's right. That's right. It's because we put up with this for far too long.
I'm not done, because ain't nobody gonna stop me. Not on one stop.
Y'all want to play these crackhead games, so I'm gonna play them. Fuck white lives. How about that?
That guy's not racist. Well, is that guy? What am I supposed to call him? I'm sorry. I'm not allowed to say that. Not allowed to say he's Jim. Again, not because he's black.
How about that?
I told you they are the most racist, trying to run defense for this.
Part of the reason why I think he got the maximum worse sentence here is because of the racial component.
He's
No way! Hassan Piker thinks that this is from a racial component?
Black. They had to put him in jail for a long time because...
No, I know he murdered a white guy, but he's black, and that's why he went to jail.
Because he was black. Carmelo Anthony's grandmother.
Michael Kors bag humping her car.
We love Carmelo. We love Carmelo.
He's a hero. He's a hero. He managed to kill one of them.
Isn't it weird? They're going and taking photo. Like, this is like some celebrity shit. Didn't your family member just get sentenced to like life?
Maybe these people actually think it's cause for celebration if you murder a white guy. Again, I'm waiting for an alternative perspective. I'm just entertaining the idea that perhaps they think murdering white people is actually just awesome.
Prison?
35 years for a kid who had decided to go under a tent that was not his team's tent as it was raining and simply didn't want to be put out in the rain by some random kid that he didn't know who was larger than him. Listen, a lot of people don't know what it is to live as a black person in this country, but...
Isn't it crazy that they're trying to blame this? This has anything to do with...
I am living as a black person in this country. I therefore just must stab white people, I guess. And I don't think all black people believe that, but these guys do. And these make it much worse. These people make it horrible for the actual black people that are based as fuck. And there are a lot of black people are based as fuck. And honestly, I feel terrible for you guys. Because a lot of people are going to see shit like this and get racist. And I don't blame them.
Him being black. Do you ever think about like how bad that makes black people look? Yeah. If I went and I said that, people would call me racist.
The fact that there was little to no mercy seen or humanity seen when this black boy said that I was scared. 35
I don't care. I don't care about his fear. Oh, I was scared. I just had to murder the white guy. Oh, poor baby.
But he said he was scared.
Metcalf tried to avoid a fight, telling Anthony, quote, "Dude, I'm not going to fight you at a track meet." Anthony pulled out a 5-inch folding knife from his backpack and stabbed Metcalf in the chest.
I'm so scared. You know who the biggest victims of black violence are? It's black people. Yep. You fuck up your own community by trying to run defense for these psychos. You stab somebody with a knife in the chest over having to sit in a different place. You are a fucking psycho. Like, you're insane.
That's
like,
right.
no, who does this?
Yeah, we should execute you, actually. And I'm really tired of making believe we shouldn't. Now, the third worldification of this country is happening rapidly in front of our eyes because we basically let savages get away with their savagery. All right, so the biggest victim of this, obviously, is the Austin Metcalf family. All right, Austin Metcalf's dad, who previously, you know, tried to forgive Carmelo Anthony, wanted to show grace, and then everyone sent him death threats, tried to kill him, and pissed on his son's grave. Literally, they were literally pissing on his son's grave. I can't believe that this is real, but they were literally pissing on the grave of a boy who was murdered in cold blood by a barbarian. All right, and for some reason, they're really mad at this guy for his son getting murdered by a black guy because now the black guy's going to jail. All right, it's really hard to understand the logic because there is none. It's very jungle logic, I would say. But Austin Metcalf's dad, well, he justifiably crashed out, and I'm really glad that he waited until the trial ended for him to do it.
Y'all can let me make something racist up.
Austin Metcalf's father. Okay, this is what he said.
Let me make something racist up so y'all can go viral. I got a new name for because he was such this little boy y'all were trying to portray. How about watermelon felon? How's that one strike you?
You can live with your life.
He is crashing the fuck out. And dude, this man, He held himself together until the trial was over. He wanted that dude to get the maximum sentence, and now he is popping the fuck off.
But my truth is forever.
Whenever you have a bunch of people out there that are defending Carmelo Anthony, almost all exclusively black, his family is defending him for this too. How could somebody not be racist after that happens? You have to deal with people sending you death threats because your son was stabbed to death.
I want to make this very clear. This is not a race issue. This is not a black and white issue. I don't want someone stepping up on a soapbox trying to politicize this.
So that's how it started. Hunter, your next bitch.
Hunter is the twin brother of Austin, the guy who was stabbed to death.
Looks like the entire Metcalf family needs a blade to the chest.
And you're gonna, I would love for all these people that are virtue signaling and telling me that you're being racist. Oh, I would love it for you to explain to me why their actual goal is not just killing white people.
Treated fairly in the judicial system because he's black. If you disagree with that, as I do, if you think that's wrong, that's fine. Or they think that he wasn't treated fairly in the judicial system because he's black. If you disagree with that, as I do in this case at least, that's fine. Make your case. But you are, if you're saying what they believe is that black people should be able to kill white people with impunity, you are absolutely misrepresenting their position. And then
Am I really absolutely misrepresenting their position? Dude, I can't stand these fake virtue signalers, man. Am I really doing that? No, this is someone who wants to just murder white people. How else do you want to possibly understand this? Like, they're just really mad you can't kill white people without punishment. They're just super mad about it.
Carmelo Anthony's mother and father.
My son didn't intend to hurt anyone. My son was the
He was trying to
stab someone in the heart.
Show him the knife.
What stuck out to me, number one, was the all-white jury. But I was
Carmelo Anthony's
all-white jury. It wasn't an all-white jury, by the way. It was only like 60% white.
father. Your son stabbed somebody in the chest, but the real problem was white people.
You know, like, all right, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, the truth is on our side.
What? Holy fuck, the claims of an all-white jury is incorrect. The jury included Asian, Indian, and Hispanic members.
What's your master plan, Mr. Anthony? To use your son as income and soak up as much money playing victim to line your pockets?
Well, as a matter of fact, actually...
And then abandon him when he's at sentencing?
Wait, they weren't at his sentencing? Damn, so his own family roached out. They dipped out.
Left him up there by himself? Amazing. What kind of father are you?
Oh, that is miserable. An absentee dad at the last second. No way, bro.
You want to talk about what kind of father? All right, let's talk about what kind of father you are. Let's talk about your arrest. Let's talk about your warrants. Let's pull it up, because I'm welcome every one of you to pull up my criminal history. Someone who tried to make up some bullshit saying I'm a sexual assault person, please check the registry. Please check my background.
They slandered him. They threatened him after killing his son. I can't even imagine this shit. It's unreal.
In criminal history, it's not there.
Jeff Metcalf speaks on slavery.
Do you know how stupid that really makes you look? You're going to support someone who does something against the law. You're encouraging and saying it's okay because he's a certain color. Oh, you've got more melanin than me. Ooh, so you get more privileges because 400 years ago, someone sold you and then we had a civil war to free your ass. And now you want to talk shit. Oh, I've been so oppressed. Look how far you've come. Look at all the free shit we give you. You're not oppressed. I mean, you're fucking entitled.
Is he wrong? Is he wrong, though?
Look, even...
I'm so happy he waited until after the trial for this crash out.
And this black lady, man, I love this guy. Yes. There are a ton of black people. They're fed up with this shit, too.
Dude, that's just so sad. Black fatigue is not exclusive to white people, all right? Listen, man, it's... I think, honestly, this behavior is so much worse for black people than it is for white people. Like, if I was a black guy and I saw my neighbor freaking the fuck out that a murderer went to jail... I would fucking kill myself. I'm sorry. That's miserable.
They don't want to deal with this either.
We had to take actual responsibility for our own actions. Wow. What a concept.
The next question is, are you satisfied with the sentence that Carmelo Anthony received?
That's a real easy question for me to know. Hell no. What is justice? Justice for me is when Austin walks through that door and can hug me. That's how long he should stay in jail, until my son comes back through that door. Do I think justice is served? No. Austin will never come back to that.
Oh my.
Holy shit, dude.
My God. This isn't grief talking. It's straight up racist stereotyping.
Racism. His son was murdered. Like literally, these people have zero moral compass.
Black hate from a racist white man. That's what happens whenever your kid gets stabbed and you get harassed for saying that he should go to jail. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, it's insane.
They told us
go get white attorneys. I feel like it was just a setup.
From day one, I said this was never about race. Please don't make it about race and don't politicize it. And what did you do? You chose both.
Holy fucking shit. Most justified crash out I've ever seen. But yeah, so again, this is an instance. Jonathan Pettigrew, a 41-year-old, he asked a teen, a black guy, on an MTA bus to lower his phone volume, and the teen murders him. All right, this happened in the Bronx, in Mamdani's, New York. All right, and it's pretty weird that we don't have riots and protests for this shit. It's pretty weird that nothing happened after all this. That's so weird. Now, Mamdani has done a lot of things about New York because the third worldification of the city is almost complete.
Days when City Hall, gone are the days when City Hall will turn its back on queer New Yorkers.
We need the gays, please. Gone are the days where you could just do sodomy without literally government protection.
As your mayor, I was proud to establish New York City's first ever Office of LGBTQI+ Affairs within the first 100 days of our administration.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. You thought that he was going to just use the extra tax money that he was collecting to help homeless people and give rent to poor people and feed the poor and for schools? No. He needs to tax white people more in order to institute the Office of Gay Shit. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. New York City will be taking the trophy from Los Angeles as the new epicenter of gay. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Communism, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We need a whole fucking office for gays. We need the gay office. That's right. Because there's not enough gay happening here. And we need to make sure that a lot more takes place. That's right. What if the gays are uncomfortable about butt sex? Well, we're going to encourage it. And we are going to use your tax dollars to do exactly that.
So that you know you have a champion and an advocate within city government.
Yes, we have an entire office and government that's like, woo! Drill his ass, baby. We have a whole city, we have a whole government office for that. A whole government office. Your tax dollars will be funding the sodomy office, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're happy.
Because as much as there is always an attempt to tell the story of queer New Yorkers as it is simply one story that can fall within one agency, we know that in fact it is the story across our city. And
the whole city is gay. Everyone's gay.
Deserves a focus across city government. City Hall will also not back down in the face of federal attacks against trans New Yorkers.
That's right. We will also be spending your tax dollars to fight for the rights of men to beat the shit out of women in sports, ladies and gentlemen. Truly a hero for the people. Now, New York is actually a war zone right now because apparently when people play basketball, it gives you the right to light your city on fire when they lose or when they win. This is New York after a basketball game. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is a totally normal reaction to have in a first world country in Western civilization. Yeah, the third worldification of New York is happening in real time. This is not AI, by the way. This is a real video of one of the multiple riots, mostly done by teens of, you know, ambiguous ethnic makeup that are overrunning the city. And this shit sucks, actually. Actually, this shit just sucks a lot. Now, Sneeko said Zoran Mamdani is doing a fantastic job. So, yes, Sneeko is very excited, obviously, that the queer community is getting an entire fucking office. They will tax white people to support sodomy, I guess, and this is everything Sneeko ever wanted. Just fantastic stuff, all in all. I'm really happy that that Sneeko is happy with what he voted for. Just honestly good shit. Because at this point, Sneeko is just a classic leftist. He is the classic Islamoid leftist. Import infinite Muslims and support the communist candidate that wants to take your tax dollars for gay. All right, now we have to look at the other epicenter of gay. The other epicenter of gay in the country is L.A. So Spencer Pratt seems like he lost his election because they cheated. Literally, I've covered this in the past. I don't want to go over it again right now, but the purpose is, you cheated. They cheated. They literally cheated. All the mail-in ballots went for the third place candidate, which makes no sense. Spencer Pratt seems like he's losing. We'll see if the federal government gets involved or if anything actually happens. I really think they should. So Jimmy Kimmel is celebrating over the fact that they stole an election.
So now we wait to hear from Spencer Pratt. You know, he clearly promised that if Karen Bass or Nithya Raman were elected mayor, he's going to move out of L.A. He said he was done with L.A. And Spencer, if you're watching, we are so sorry to see you go. What we do know, we're going to miss the hell out of you. You're a man of your word, and you've got to go. You said you were going to go. And I know things might be tight right now, especially the out-of-state donation money is running out. Moving is expensive. So to help you out, we rented you a U-Haul. This is...
isn't that beautiful?
There's plenty of room. It's got 2 beds, tables, chairs, all your crystals, whatever.
You ready for the truth, Nuke, though? He has no stuff. His house was burned down in the LA fires. He has no things to put in the U-Haul. So this is literally an entire show mocking a guy for getting the election stolen, which everyone believes that it was stolen. No one actually thinks it was a fair election. So now they're mocking him for having his house burned down and the government doing nothing to help him put it back up.
Our staff spent the whole day decorating for you. So, and everybody that will notice you and wave goodbye as you leave. And I hope that you and Heidi are happy wherever it is you go. Maybe you could be mayor there, or maybe just run for mayor and finish in 3rd place there. It could be fun for your new reality show season 2. Either way, Mazel Tov and goodbye, Spencer Pratt.
Yeah, so guy lost his house and we're going to make fun of him for losing an election because they rigged it. I don't know why he didn't do the monologue in blackface. I guess that doesn't work anymore these days. So he responded to Jimmy Kimmel with this. Jimmy Kimmel, I guess you missed the part of the story. I don't need a U-Haul. I have nothing to pack.
I don't think I'm going to get any. Oh, there's my rose quartz. That's cool.
Yep, that's right.
Is that the big quartz? Let's see.
Yeah, all right, so Jimmy Kimmel, I don't think he will be needing your U-Haul, sir. I love how the left are just miserably evil people. Just literally miserably evil in every possible way. He posted this too. A net swing of more than 43,000 votes since Tuesday. 43,000, that's a funny number. That's also the amount of people homeless in Los Angeles. Probably a coincidence. Are they done counting yet? He just tweeted. The answer is no, they're still counting votes, even though it doesn't really matter anymore. And the truth of the matter is, it's just awful. So here we have people on Skid Row exposed that they were paid money to vote for specific candidates.
Yeah.
Oh, you did for Karen Bass?
Yeah. Karen Bassett. Right. That's her last name, Bassett?
Karen Bass, yeah. Or Nithya Raman?
Karen.
Karen? They told you to vote for Karen?
Yeah. They had to sign a little thing.
And how much they pay you?
It was like $2.
$2?
They paid me $2 and I voted for Karen Bass. Nope, that's not election fraud.
Oh, to sign off on a thing to vote for her?
Yeah.
So they do this for everybody out here?
Yeah, they come out here all the time.
They just get everybody to vote out here, huh?
Remember, this exact type of voter fraud is exactly what James O'Keefe has been exposing. You know, there are...
And they did nothing about it. Nothing about it at all, actually. All right? In fact, it's just insane watching this get exposed every day.
And we won't keep you here all day, but let me just do one more. Did you weaken your fraud standards to help Democrats?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer the question.
Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? Did you weaken your fraud standards to help Democrats? I plead the fifth.
Pursuant to my Fifth Amendment rights.
Holy shit, dude. I have to understand exactly what it is that we are fighting for here. All right. First, let me show you the Democrats' vision. All right. This is the Democrats' vision. So these are two prominent Democrats. Wajahat Ali from Pakistan and Rohana. I'm pretty sure he's from India. And I'm really glad that we have these two fantastic voices of the American people because they have paperwork. They have paperwork that says they're American. So they're obviously just as American as me and you. And they're laying out the vision of the Democrats.
Well, I can tell you what my agenda would be, but I think this is going to be the fight for the Democratic leadership of 2028. Now, I don't know whether I'll enter or not, but this is what the agenda should be in 2028. We should be for calling it a Dred Scott court and having Supreme Court term limits and expanding the court from 9 to 13. We should
expand the court from 9 to 13, pack it with Democrats, win literally everything ever, and steal the country. And this is being sponsored by Rohana and Wajahat Ali.
Be for abolishing ICE and replacing
Abolish all immigration enforcement.
it with a immigration enforcement office that actually follows human rights and that focuses
Human
on
rights aren't real.
sex trafficking, child trafficking, drug offenders, not conducting raids in places like.
Oh, don't deport people that invade the country illegally. No. We just have to worry about sex trafficking. We don't actually have to worry about borders.
Minneapolis going after undocumented immigrants who are working and paying taxes.
They absolutely should be going after undocumented immigrants, even if they're working and paying taxes.
We should be for a billionaire's tax, a tax on billionaires.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we have to take money from the people that earn it, give it to the people that don't. We have to let anyone who comes into the country illegally just stay forever because, hey, it's human rights, I guess, for them to rape our land, I suppose. Also, and most importantly, we extend the Supreme Court to make sure that we win everything forever. This is the plan by Rouhana and Wajahat Ali. For some reason, we have them in our country, and now they have the right to conquer us, I guess. That's their goal. But what he said mostly, he wants to fight against sex trafficking, which I'm really glad he brought that up. Because one of the major stories that's not being covered literally anywhere is that we just found out under the Trump administration 146,000 children that were sex trafficked, or trafficked at least, over the border.
You know, I tell people that I haven't quit smiling since I've been Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, but I have to take that back because when we start digging into these cases and you start hearing the absolute horrific things that took place underneath the Biden administration, under true neglect at best and criminal at worst, to allow 450,000 kids to go missing throughout this country.
Democrat policy, by the way. Just infinite Moloch sacrifice.
President Trump has made it a point to go find these kids. And because of our partnership...
That's pretty good. I love to hear that. Finding missing kids sounds pretty great.
Find these kids. And because of our partnership with HHS and DOJ, Department of Homeland Security, truly using the best, which the Democrats sometimes want to demonize because a lot of times this is ICE, this is HSI, this is CBP.
So the Democrats are really mad that ICE is rescuing children because that's one less sacrifice to their to Moloch, I guess. It's rough for these guys. You know, they're doing their best to worship whatever fucking deities that they want to. They're trying, and then the damn Trump administration just keeps interrupting their child sacrifice. Like, it's fucked up if you think about it. It's just their culture. Are we going to demonize their culture?
These individuals that the Democrats seem to want to defund, but because of President Trump, we finally funded them for 3 years. We're able to push and go find these kids. We found 146,000 kids so far.
Wow.
146,000 kids.
That's insane.
We still have nearly 300,000 missing.
For those of you counting, that is 7 times the estimated Hamas numbers for deaths of children in Gaza. More than 7 times, closer to 8 times. And then these virtue signaling fucks want to abolish ICE, open the border, and just basically let this keep happening. You know, I'm starting to think that they're not the good guys.
We're investigating reports to where some of these kids claim that they were raped 600 to 700 times.
That's leftist policy, by the way. They're just a party of rape. They love it when kids get raped, which is why they import all the things. Like, again, I don't want to be controversial because sometimes I try to figure out the actual goals of the left and stuff like that. You know, I'm trying to intuit what they actually want. But ultimately, the purpose of the system is what the system does. So I'm trying to really figure out exactly why the left wants all these kids raped. Why? To get votes, maybe? Maybe they want power. Maybe they just like when kids get raped, actually. I mean, we do know that Jeffrey Epstein was a Democrat donor. He did, 89% of his donations went to Democrats. You know, he funded trans surgeries and vaccine mandates and quarantine protocols. You know, the Biden administration covered up the Epstein files for 4 years. We got nothing, and not even a single person in Congress felt the need to call that out at all. Look, I'm just asking questions here. I'm not making any conclusions. I'm just asking questions. Why do Democrats seem to just love it when kids get raped? I mean, can you explain to me why they're importing infinite retards into England and the rest of Europe? And a follow-up question. Do you think that they know they're worshiping Satan? Or do you think they're just like worshiping Satan by accident? They just accidentally happened upon exactly what Satan would advise. Let me know in the comment section below. Yeah, no, I can't possibly figure out why leftists keep sending me death threats. It's because I'm honest. They hate that. You can't say such horrible things about immigrants, Nick. Have you even met one? Yes, Miss Granger, I have. Nearly headless. How could you be nearly headless? Well, in Ireland, this is not a question anyone is really comfortable asking because currently there is a revolution happening. All right, and everyone's talking about it for obvious reasons. Millions must go, says Rupert Lowe, showing an image of a Sudanese migrant beheading an innocent man. Now, the Sudanese thug who attempted to behead a man at Belfast received asylum through a simplified procedure. That's right, you're not angry enough. Not only did the government see this savage and be like, bro, we need him in our country immediately. Instead of the standard interview, he just filled out a 10-page Home Office questionnaire. The scheme introduced in 2023 to speed up the processing of migrant applications. Even at the launch stage, the organization Migration Watch UK, which advocates for stricter immigration, called the initiative dangerous folly. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Even the woke, pro-immigration guys were like, maybe this is too far. Well, I would argue it is too far. So essentially, this dude, this savage, this barbarian that was let loose on the streets to behead innocent people was allowed into the country by a guy that just said, hey, could you fill out this 10-page form, please, in 2023? Bro, put that shit in ChatGPT and spit it out immediately, all right? Like, you all know exactly how this worked. He got some guy to fill it out for him, and boom, he was in the country to behead you as he sees fit. The barbarians are in the gates, and it's actually orchestrated by the people on top. All right, the savages aren't just the fucking retards from the third world wearing robes and doing their fucking warbling. No. It's the people in the suits that are getting the fucking barbarians in the robes to behead you in public too. And people are starting to notice. This is the image of the guy that was nearly beheaded by the migrant. All right, diversity is their strength and Islam is the religion of priests, right? So the anti-migration riots are insane. The anti-migration riots are massive everywhere. People are tired of this. All right, at some point, you just lose faith in the system. All right, you just do. The rioters have set a house on fire in Belfast. This was a migrant home, and they set it on fire. I don't think they have, mate. I actually don't think that happened at all. It was a mostly peaceful protest. I don't know what you're even talking about. You know, and Ed Davies calls on Keir Starmer to crack down on platforms like X because it's fueling violence.
Agree, this is not who we are as a country, and that
we are not a country that opposes beheadings in public.
It's not free speech if it's controlled by tech billionaires and their algorithms.
It's not free speech if it's on Twitter, I guess.
So will he crack down properly on platforms like X?
That's right.
That are fueling violence and hatred?
You know what I would argue is fueling violence and hatred? Public beheadings from Sudanese Muslims. I would argue that that is part of it. Why can't he crack down on the psychotic foreigners who murder people in the streets? Fantastic question. Everyone's wondering the same thing. Everyone is wondering the same thing.
Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, we will crack down on anyone who's fueling this division. But it is really important, and I agree with him, we're heading into a very difficult situation.
It's a difficult situation. We have to arrest the people for their tweets. We let the beheadings continue.
In Northern Ireland. As I say, I've spoken to the Chief Constable, the First Minister and Deputy First Minister this morning. They are united in saying we should all be calling for calm. The police are on
Why shouldn't we be calling for the savage barbarians to stop beheading people in the streets?
Front line, and it's our duty.
I love how the leftist policy is like all cultures are equal. You know, like all cultures are equal. It's racist if you think that beheading people is bad. All right, so Owen Jones, this is a communist. Like, you just look at his social media profile, you want to vomit. Socialist, anti-fascist. All right, we got it. So he's a communist libtard. There's no longer any acceptable limit to how right-wing you can be. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Based. This will end in catastrophe for us all. Based. Let's go, dude. Colossal W's. Thank you, communist. Very cool. Love to hear it. There's no guardrails now on the right of the UK politics. W. Huge. Where Restore Britain goes, others will follow. Just fantastic news. I've never been this happy to read the words of a communist before. In the UK and across the West, incendiary language and white supremacist policies are entering the political mainstream. Let's fucking go, boys and girl. This is massive. You mean to tell me that we're gonna actually get really far right? Fuck yes, dude. Fuck yes, dude. Now, the thing is, and the truth of the matter is, the left is the party with no guardrails, right? There is no limit to the possible ends of degeneracy. and tolerance that the left needs to have for cultures that just want to rape your children and behead you in public. The right, however, always did have guardrails. There were principles. There were things, morals, ideally holding them back. But more than that, the government would hold them back. Because if you make a Facebook post that's a little bit too racist, they will put you in jail. So the machine that was put in place to put guardrails on the right intellectually is gone. Because people are really fucking tired of this. So this is just some of the greatest news I've ever heard. When the libtards are saying that there is no longer any acceptable limit on how right-wing you can be, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Trump, the far-right fascist, Trump, he's a moderate Democrat from the 90s. We are going way further right than him. I am super grateful for Donald Trump for shifting the Overton window as much as he did. I think he single-handedly saved the West. People like him and Elon Musk are actual heroes of our time. I firmly believe that. But because of that Overton window shift, we're going to take it a lot further right than that. I mean, Donald Trump is pro-gay and pro-women. Please. I like women too, but I wouldn't exactly put them in elected positions of power. In fact, I am so pro-women that I want them to be incredibly happy by finding a husband that loves them and having a lot of kids that they love with passion and raise to be fantastic, God-fearing, contributing members of society. Because I care about the well-beings of women, I really want that for them. A lot of people call me an optimist, and I really am very optimistic. I am not a black pillar at all. I feel like I'm seeing the direction we're heading with clarity, and I am very, very happy about it. And it might take some time. Shit doesn't change overnight, but I am very happy watching the direction we go. And God willing, I will raise my children in a much more right-wing world. So yeah, fantastic news. There's no longer any acceptable limit to how right-wing you can be. That's right. Actually, we love our country, and we love God, and we love our people, and we love our civilization, and we despise the people that try to destroy us. You don't make peace with evil, you destroy evil. All right, now, but you have to understand the way the media is covering all this. Breaking news. This is how Australia's public broadcaster, ABC News, accused Elon Musk of causing the violence in Belfast, Ireland.
A violent knife attack by a Sudanese asylum seeker in Belfast on Monday led to a knife...
No, that wasn't a violent knife attack by a Sudanese asylum seeker. That was actually an attempted beheading by a barbarian from the Third World.
...of riots and vehicles set alight in the city. Video of the horrific knife attack, which...
I don't think that has happened, mate.
...chosen not to show, was posted online.
I think you should see it. I think everyone should see it. It's like, reality is offensive, so therefore we're just going to make believe reality isn't real.
Right agitators then shared the material, using it to stoke racial tension.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Elon Musk and other far-right agitators agitated you by showing you what happened in real life. That's right. Apparently just posting something objectively with zero commentary that happened in real life is a radicalizing and shit-stirring far-right material. It is far-right material to watch the attempted beheading of an innocent man in public.
And push for violent retribution. The UK regulator has powers directing tech companies to remove violent posts and control.
It's a violent post. It's calling for violence when you post an image of a violent barbarian beheading an innocent man.
Racially charged responses. But Elon Musk chose instead to double down on inciting rhetoric on his platform.
Based Elon, savior of Western civilization. All right, he tweeted this: murderous migrants beheading innocent people in their hometown is what's making people angry, not social media. Objectively true. 50 million views. Now, if they ban social media, we're not going to stop the beheadings, but we're going to stop people knowing about the beheadings. All right? Elon Musk is causing division in Britain. I don't think so, mate. All right, no one's believing this. 50 million views, dude. 500,000 likes, dude. Everyone is on top of this. So Zach Belansky, leader of the Green Party, all right, which means he's gay as fuck. All right, he is a gay pro-Islam retard. All right, this man is a threat to our democracy. He backs violence and extremism. Blaming a group of people for the awful actions of an individual leads us to a very dark place. You cannot possibly blame third world retards who are part of a death cult and are barbarians for the actions of third world retards in a death cult committing acts of barbarism. Musk, Lowe, Farage, Robinson. These men don't give a shit about our country. They just want to rip us apart. That's right. Deporting terrorists is actually a bad thing. Actually, it's racist if you don't want to get stabbed in the fucking neck by a fucking savage. So, Rupert Lowe says, a government that's more concerned about Elon Musk than murderous third world migrants attempting to behead us in the street. The Labour Party is a disgrace. And he's just completely correct here. So, it's gotten even hairier. Just watching the way the media has been covering this has been insane.
This is the new Lord Mayor of Belfast in her inauguration speech on the 1st of June. So this was 9 days ago. During the speech, she says, "Diversity enriches our city, the lives of all of our citizens, and I will champion that diversity." Not 2 weeks later, that same diversity tried to behead a citizen.
I love this city. I was born.
Now, by the way, that should radicalize you. It was just one time thing. No, it's something that should not exist in our civilization. All right, we have moved past, this was Dark Age shit. We should not be importing anyone from any cultures where this is, it happens.
Born here and I've lived in it all my life. I want to bring a message of diversity and inclusiveness to the year ahead. I
feel so bad for Irish people. They have probably the most woke government in all of the Western civilization. Dude, the Irish government's fucking, it's nightmarish.
Is in an inclusive, welcoming environment where difference and diversity is embraced and celebrated, and I'm proud of that.
Why is it this fixation that these people have on diversity? Like this?
Because they're trying to mind rape people into thinking it's normal to import barbarians from savage countries with retarded cultures.
Weird, positive, social, cost of diversity is so obnoxious. I hate it.
Diversity enriches our city and the lives of all of our citizens, and I will champion
not all
in that diversity.
These people have been so safe and so privileged from society that they've convinced themselves that danger no longer exists. That's the big problem. I want people to be finally held accountable for what's been done to our country. Civil servants, judges, and politicians.
So good, Rupert Love.
If they have knowingly placed unvetted, dangerous third world savages in our countries near our children, then a Restore Britain government would aim to prosecute them. We are so far past half measures now, the country is too far gone.
Holy shit.
Shame on those who use hideous crimes to incite racist violence. So you can see this is some house that got set on fire in Belfast.
I don't think it has made.
I just donated to the Minnesota Freedom Fund to bail out protesters who are on the streets over the racist police murder of George Floyd.
Same fucking guy. Same freaking guy. That's insane. Like, meaning I only like violent riots when it's violently rioting against whatever right-wing cause, against white people. Interesting.
See, these people don't have any values.
Correct. Correct. And that's actually just because they're a leftist. This guy happens to be a gay leftist communist or an anti-fascist, whatever that means.
Let these people take advantage of you.
As far as we know.
Yeah,
this
this guy fucking sucks.
person was here legally. He's from Sudan.
He was legal. He was legal, bro. My favorite part of politics is watching leftists just make believe they don't understand public discourse, and no one does it better than a radical pro-Islamist communist leftist like Mahdi Hassan, who for some reason is in our country. I love it so much. It's like when they say, "Ha, you thought he was Somalian, but he was actually Sudanese." Wow, got him. Yeah, I don't fucking care. As far as I'm concerned, I would deport all the Somalians and the Sudanese. I don't give a shit. Oh, but he was legal. Oh, so you're saying that the immigration system, when it's working properly, is still a problem, and everyone needs to remigrate, even the legal immigrants? Bro, these people are actually fucking evil.
I think most people would agree people fleeing from Sudan are genuine refugees. I think pretty much whatever your politics are.
Yes, and you know why? You know why they're fleeing from Sudan? Because the Sudanese people are savages. That's right, because they're fucking savages. Sudan had a genocide so bad, you wouldn't call it a genocide, obviously, because genocide is only when white people do it. All right, so genocide so bad in Sudan that you could see blood-stained floors on Google Maps. Google Maps, literal satellite view of Sudan, you will see it reddened with the blood of people getting massacred on the streets. I covered this a couple months ago. It's a nightmare there. And you know why? It's because it's run by Islamist savages that were massacring the Christians and Muslims of other groups of Islam.
We can agree that there's a genocide going on in Sudan.
So everybody in Sudan...
That's right. So therefore they all have to live here.
To kill each other. Okay. How the fuck is that Britain's problem?
And Elon Musk pushing this is absurd because Musk himself is an immigrant to the United States. His own brother claimed once.
Yeah, he's a great immigrant. Yeah, we need more immigrants like Elon Musk. Like,
it's not.
Again, these people don't engage with the actual talking points at all. I'm not against immigration in general if it's done A, legally, and B, people who make our country better. People who can assimilate with our civilization and who do enhance our society. Elon Musk objectively did that. But leftist discourse is all about taking words and manipulating them to make believe you don't understand what's being said in order to win some sort of fake shadow argument that you came up with yourself. So this retard really thinks a legal immigrant from Sudan is the same as Elon Musk, because they're both technically legal immigrants. And you can never engage with these people in good faith. You can never engage with leftists in general in good faith, because they're a subversive group of rebellious, revolutionary retards that want to destroy our civilization. So why would I take the words seriously from a guy who literally just wants to destroy our civilization? You don't think he'll lie? You think that the guy that supports thou shalt not steal and thou shalt not rape is not going to support thou shalt not murder? Or thou shalt not bear false witness? Like, I would never trust a word that comes out of these people's mouths. I've never heard Mehdi Hassan specifically ever be honest.
Not the same. It's not the same, and you know it.
Yeah, of course he does. But that is how leftists operate. Especially the communist, Islamist subversives. That is how they operate. They operate by just manipulating language and words and make believe that your values actually matter to them, which they don't, obviously. Like, Mehdi Hassan was caught on tape saying that all non-Muslims are lower than animals and pedophiles. And he literally has said that on tape. All right, that's the same Mehdi Hassan who was saying, but the Sudanese migrant that beheaded a man in public was legal, just like Elon Musk is legal. They're literally the same. You can never engage with these people.
Claimed once that...
It's not the same. It's not the same, and you know it. They call for calm in the face of horror. This is inhumane and manipulative. The proportionate and natural response to a horrific incident is disgust, fear, and anger. They want to downplay the horror to dodge their own political responsibility for it.
I love leftist policy because it's inherently incoherent, you know? Every single part about it. It's like, it's natural and normal for men to have sex with men, but it's not natural and normal to be angry when you watch your neighbor get beheaded by a savage imported from the third world. Like, try to reconcile that shit for me for a second.
Elon Musk, fuck him.
Look, it's queer Stalin.
And I wish people...
And it looks like he doesn't like it when people get in his face. I'm sure that all the people beheaded by migrants felt very similarly.
Didn't see that
Perhaps even worse.
Yo, what is this?
Monday night was horrific, and so many people saw that image. I wish people didn't see that image, but...
Man, they're not angry it happened. They're angry people saw it happen. Unbelievable.
Unfortunately, many people did. But
unfortunately, people saw the man get beheaded. The beheading isn't so bad, but people had to see it.
Are bad actors that are jumping on this and actually using it to stir up hate and tension. But Jack, no.
I can't believe people are tense. Can't believe it. I mean, it was only a beheading.
Always see
part of their culture. Can we even blame them?
Likes of the Elon Musks of this world, where we see the Tommy Robinsons of this world. We're not a racist people here.
Not yet. Not yet, unfortunately, but we're getting there. Don't worry.
No, it's more important that you're not racist than people are safe. That's the problem. Yeah, they're doing this in real time.
Now, do you think Cosby's legacy will be hurt?
Yeah.
You do, huh? I mean, there was a comedian, Patton Oswalt, he told me, I think the worst part of the Cosby thing was the hypocrisy. And I disagreed.
You disagree with that?
Yeah. I thought it was the raping. That's my feeling. Most rapists are hypocrites. You don't meet many go, I like raping, and I know it's not politically correct, but by God, people go, well, he's not being a hypocrite, and that's the worst part.
Dude, but that's just true. A civilization is frustrated, but a civilization is waking up. People aren't interested in playing the nice guys. You know, it's really not a virtue to be tolerant. It's actually a virtue to be intolerant of certain things. And people are really starting to figure that shit out. Generations of psyops about how all cultures are equal and about how Western civilization is actually bad, destroyed in an instant. The moment you see a Sudanese asylum seeker behead a man and the entire leftist media condemn the people that talked about it, not the actual barbarian that beheaded someone in public. It's just fucking clown world and everyone sees it. So Jake Monroe, this dude over here, this goth fellow over here, he's a friend of mine. I like the guy. He's cool. He just posted a video because he actually lives about 20 minutes away from the beheading that took place in Belfast, Ireland, from the Sudanese migrant that just tried to behead an innocent guy because, well, he's a savage. It's just his culture, all right? If you dislike that, then you're probably a racist. You probably just don't like the Sudanese culture of beheading people that you don't like. And honestly, it's a little bigoted of you. So this dude lives 20 minutes away from there. He actually went there to the scene of the crime. I wanted to see his take on it.
The guy that tried to saw the head off a disabled man in Belfast, when he was taken to hospital for the...
Oh, he was disabled? Man, y'all are ableist now, too.
The wax to the dome. He threatened to kill one of the radiology nurses. That's how brutally savage this guy is. This Sudanese...
but he was a legal immigrant, so just like Elon Musk was a legal immigrant, so I don't know if you... I can't believe that Mehdi Hassan is out there being like, but he was legal in the country, like as a defense for the guy that tried to behead a guy.
This guy, they took him to the hospital for the damage that was done to his head, and he threatened to kill one of the radiology nurses. So I just saw Tommy Robinson say something here about the picture. Here it is. I have removed the alleged image that featured in online reports of Stephen Ogilvie lying in a hospital bed. I've been reliably informed that was not him, and that Stephen's injuries are actually much worse. So that wasn't him. I don't think it was AI generated, but it wasn't him. Sometimes even doing research into images and using AI things can be mistaken or go wrong. I did do a reverse image search and absolutely nothing was found, which gave the claim some credibility, as did the AI response, also the Celtic tattoo. I apologize for making the mistake. So the image that you're seeing circulating of Stephen in the hospital bed is not real. It's not him. It's of somebody else who looks quite similar. I would be honestly super surprised if anyone at this point would be able to get in there, take a photo, and post it on the internet. Right now, I can't imagine anyone would be doing that. So the Sudanese guy was living in a flat with another Sudanese guy. Why couldn't he stab him? Why not stab him? Perfect? You're in proximity.
I wonder why. No one wants to ask that question.
It's us, though, isn't it? It's us they need to attack. We're the ones.
I've
and
noticed.
It's not terrorism because
there's an entire generation of white girls getting raped. Notice how they don't rape the Muslim girls. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, and I'm not advocating for. I don't want them to rape anybody. Honestly, I prefer if they didn't rape. But if they must. Listen, man, they put the burqas on children and shit because otherwise they just rape them. Like, can you really blame them for not raping people without burqas?
But you know, sir, it was literally this lady over here. She's not wearing hijab. I just had to rape.
No, sorry. Listen, man, hijabs work, I guess. What can I say?
we're not a protected group. We're secular. Being British means nothing.
I mean, to be fair, you are not Muslim, so therefore you are like animals. And they rape animals, so... All right, that was dark.
It's not an ethnicity that is recognized. So how can it be terrorism if white people are quite literally nothing? They're nothing. White British? Irrelevant. British is a passport. Christian? This is a secular country. Culturally, we're not tied to Christianity.
And even if you were Christian, does that even matter? Does that matter? You're a non-Muslim. You're a non-Muslim, bro. You are like animals.
Anymore. So every single attack by a Sudanese, by a Senegalese, by a Somalian, by a Pakistani, by any of these foreign invaders,
in any of the I don't give a fuckistan countries,
attacks from these people against us is purely because we're white, but white people are not a protected.
No. Hey. You gotta give some grace. You gotta give some grace to the fucking Senegalese savages. It's not because you're white. It's because you're a non-Muslim. To be fair, that broadens it a little bit too, eh?
And therefore it's not terrorism. That's essentially what's going on here.
Basically,
but this Sudanese guy that was taken to hospital, he threatened to kill he threatened to murder one of the radiology nurses.
Nice.
I can only imagine what it's like escorting this around the place. It seriously must be like...
Dude, why are we like executing these people? Like, so much resources is... First of all, the economy in Europe is absolute dog shit. You know, they cuck themselves on the AI stuff because they want it to be woke. They cuck themselves on the nuclear stuff because they want to be woke. They cuck themselves on fracking for oil because they want to be woke and environmentalists and shit. Dog, why do you give a fuck about the environment? You're not having kids. You're aborting your babies. You're castrating your children. Your birth rate is like 1.5 in England. All right? You're not going to, like, why? Why do you give a shit about the environment if you're not going to even have descendants to live on this planet? All right? The only people in England, if everything went your way, that will exist in a couple of generations are Senegalese barbarians. That's the only people that's going to be fucking, harumphing around in your country. Right? And so... in a country that's like in an actual economic death spiral because they woke too close to the sun, On top of that, add hospital bills and jail bills and for food bills that the British taxpayer needs to somehow come up with to fund for the barbarians that are beheading you in public. Oh, who's going to pay for the radiology appointment that the Senegalese barbarian is going to have? I do. I know who. This guy who lives 20 minutes from the hospital, it's his tax dollars that's going to be paying for the radiology appointment of this Senegalese barbarian. People can't even begin to wrap their minds around the level of diabolical evil that is actually happening here.
Escorting a animal. This guy must be barely sentient. Barely sentient. Like, how the did he even get here? I understand that he flew
legally, actually. He filled out 10 pages of documents. He never had an interview, and now he's just as Irish as you are, sir. I hope you like that.
He just flew from Sudan to Paris. He just flew to Paris and didn't go home. Did anyone stop him? No, they didn't. He flew from Sudan to Paris with a one-way ticket. No, that didn't flag anyone. Like, that's suspicious. And then he stayed in Paris for a little bit.
Well, it's inhumane to deport them. I was told by so many Muslims that it's inhumane to deport Muslims when they invade your country. But I was told it's inhumane. Wajahat Ali over here and Ro Khahana, they're American because they have papers that say they're American. They're paperwork Americans. So they said it's inhumane to deport people, actually.
And having Supreme Court term limits. We should be for abolishing ICE and replacing it with a immigration enforcement office that actually follows human rights and that focuses on sex trafficking, child trafficking, drug offenders, not conducting raids in places like Minneapolis, going after undocumented immigrants who are working and paying taxes.
That's right. We just shouldn't deport people if they're here illegally, right? We should just let them in, and then we just shouldn't deport them if they don't want to leave. And then they all vote for Democrats because the Democrats don't want to deport them. It's interesting how this keeps working. So Wajahat Ali and Ro Khahana have decided that actually it violates human rights to deport people that invade your country illegally. I hope you're happy because that is the left.
How? I don't know. Probably just gave him a free house, free food, free stuff.
Well, technically, it's not free. Technically, you're paying for it, sir. It's very, very generous of you, Jake. Guys, everyone's out here being like, oh, Jake doesn't do enough charity work. Jake Monroe literally paid for this Senegalese guy's housing. All right, let's be real. What a fucking guy. What a guy.
Oh, we hate Frenchmen. Please, before you leave, make sure you stab someone.
He then flies from Paris to Dublin. Again, there's no visa on this guy's record. Why is he flying from Paris to Dublin? Not even this guy knows. This guy is just...
I mean, you blame the French for letting him fly in. I blame the British for letting him in.
Blankly staring, walking in directions like a fucking lemming. And then he flies from Paris to Dublin. No one stops him. Why are you coming? Do you have a visa? Why do you have no return flight?
Bro, he probably doesn't speak English. How would you even ask him these questions? He filled in 10 papers, though, so, like, I would let him in.
Right to Sudan.
That was a joke, by the way. Fuck this guy.
You know, like America does. Whenever I fly to America, how long are you staying? Who are you seeing?
These are questions for white people that speak English, all right? They just assume this guy is 67 IQ and won't understand, so they just let him in.
You here last?
You just violate his human rights by asking him basic comprehension questions. God. Oh, my God. Dude, if this doesn't radicalize the shit out of you.
Will you be flying on anywhere else when you get there? None of that. This guy just arrived in Paris and was just like, I'm gonna go to Dublin now. At no point did anybody check. And then he was in Dublin for a few months, I believe, or half a year or something like that. And then he got the coach. He got the coach all the way up to Belfast. So he's in Belfast illegally. No one invited him there. When he gets here, he's given leave to remain, an indefinite leave to remain. Which means he can then immediately start...
Bro, I'm starting to think that these guys are just bioweapons. I feel like the elites are just like, they're like, yo, we have bioweapons active to destroy, like, white culture or whatever. Like, and they're called Senegalese people. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Obviously, that was a joke, obviously.
Getting benefits, which means the house he was in, the flat he was in, was free.
No, it wasn't free. You paid for it. Take credit. Take credit for your generosity. Man, this makes me sick.
Lived here illegally. No one checked him all the way from Sudan through Paris.
The Jewish take is, yeah, he beheaded him in public, but oh, you're paying for his housing? No, I'm kidding. I'm joking, obviously. It's just a nightmare from beginning to end. The whole thing is bad.
Dublin into Belfast, and then when he got here, he was like, asylum, please, and they were like, all right, mate, here's the keys to your free flat. Here's your free food. Have a good one. What the actual... This is not open borders. This is no borders at all. This isn't people checking their shit and being like, well, okay, well, the border's open, so you can go in. No one's checking
I would just like to make the point that this Senegalese guy was let in, but Hassan Piker wasn't.
anything. Absolutely. He arrived here illegally, was here as an illegal. The government didn't know he was coming. They barely even know where the he was from. And then he was like, can I have asylum? And they were like, yep, there you go. Indefinite leave to remain, which means he now has access to benefits. He's eligible to receive taxpayer money. Isn't that wild? And then this guy goes and blows the entire thing by slicing up the face of a disabled white man that was loved by the community. People figured out how he got here, how he was living here, and people were like, okay, so open borders, there's no borders. You guys, you just gave him benefits. He just got off the bus stinking like Sudan, and you just gave him everything?
Basically, yeah.
And people are realizing, like, this is how they're getting in? And they had this thing in Dublin a couple of...
And you want to know the best part? More of them are coming in every day. That's the best part, man. You think that this will radicalize people and this is gonna stop, but it doesn't stop. Because more, and you're gonna get some more guys in Sudan being like, holy shit, we could just do this. And guess what, baby? Guess what? And you know it's gonna happen.
A couple of years
ago. You have Mehdi Hassan being like, well, technically there is a genocide going on. So, I mean, that doesn't mean that they should live here, actually.
When this first...
It's not my problem.
When the immigration to Dublin first started, there were just military-age black men just appearing in Dublin in their hundreds per day. They were camping out in the center of the city in shanty towns made of tents. Beautiful, pristine Dublin streets, but literally over the period of a few weeks, shanty towns of strange African men.
Sounds to me like you guys didn't free Palestine enough.
Children, no women, just African men, just strewn about the place. And if you said anything about it,
they would put you in jail for being racist.
You're fucking racist. And being a racist is by far the absolute worst thing. I mean, look at this shit. Disabled guy gets his face carved up like a Halloween pumpkin. The left were not aware of this until we all started getting upset about it. I saw people that I've neglected to unfollow because they just barely show up on my FYP. I've seen people that I used to know being like, I woke up this morning to loads of riots. What the fuck is going on? This attack has not shown up for leftists. They've not seen it. They didn't see it until the...
That's right. And the whole media is just blaming Elon Musk. I can't believe Elon Musk told people that this horrible thing happened. That's even worse than the thing happening.
It started. How is... We know why this is not permeating mainstream. Because they don't want this. They don't want to expose this.
I mean, they admit it. They admit it themselves.
They don't want to expose the fact that all of these unchecked, undocumented migrants that they're pulling in on purpose because Calgary plan. Now, look, this guy has been named. I can't seem to find the name. It was something like Adil Babagubu or whatever the stupid Sudanese name was. I don't really care. Do you care? Do you care what his name was? You can Google and find it. But we do have...
Oh my god, dude. It's such a nightmare. It's like every single part of this is bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. The economic part is bad. The fucking... Dude, what... Wait, hold up. I'm noticing something retarded in the comments. Wait. Okay, I cut off that part of the video. But dude, it is so bad. Holy fucking Nux jump scare. Only the blue Jew is accepted around here. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Anyway...
But we do have things coming out of Belfast, okay? Now, first and foremost, there have been many houses that have been burnt out. We've got this kind of thing popping up all over the place. For those of you who watched my live stream of me attending one of these protests, luckily for me,
Holy shit, he exists without makeup?
The protest that I attended was actually very peaceful. It was not peaceful, literally a 10-minute drive from where that was. I went out into the protest yesterday after the stream, and
not gonna lie. I'm starting to feel like this is the moderate position.
Live streamed 1 hour of this protest, and it was peaceful. There were kids and families there, old women, old men. There was teenagers there as well with their masks up and stuff like that. You know, it was nice. But 10 minutes away, all hell was breaking loose. And Keir Starmer was actually in the House of Commons today, and he was actually talking about cracking down on X, and that all of these riots are the result of right-wing voices. He's talking about people like me.
You know, I feel like you would really silence Elon Musk if you just stopped having beheadings on your street. I feel like that would really show him, you know? Elon Musk is trying to, like, stir up racial tension or whatever. Dude, think about it. Keir Starmer, if you're watching this video, you're probably not, because last time I called him the F slur, and they got my video taken down. But Keir Starmer, if you're watching, all you have to do is stop the public beheadings and rape gangs, and Elon Musk will literally have nothing to say. Holy shit. Think about how you could stick it to Elon.
He says that they need to crack down on X because the riots are the result of incitement directly from right-wingers on X.
Yeah,
so, once again, they are ignoring the actual problem, and it's so frustrating to the point where I want to claw my eyes out. It's so deeply frustrating. He sees the riots and he's like, well, what could have caused this? Looks around, ignores immigrants, ignores open borders, ignores the illegals flooding in, ignores the race crimes being committed by them, the religious crimes being committed by them, overlooks the gangs and the inquiry that's sitting on his desk that he keeps ignoring. He keeps ignoring all these things and he goes, it's Andrew Tate. I knew it. I knew it was him. It was Andrew Tate. I knew it. So now he wants to crack down on social media because they're responsible for the riot. You know what would be really funny? Sure, go ahead, Keir. Seriously, close it down. Keir Starmer, seriously, shut down X. You will find that the riots will still happen again. Oh, and Keir Starmer's world. Can you imagine if Keir Starmer got his way every single time? Where do you think it would end with that guy? Seriously, let's imagine.
England would end with that guy. That's exactly where. In 2 generations, England would just be an Islamic country. And that's it.
Let's imagine Keir Starmer gets his way. You're now living in 1984. There's no social media, there's no organization, there's mass surveillance, and he's got everything his way. He's got cameras up everyone's asses. He knows what you ate for breakfast. He knows everyone's bowel movements in the UK. No one can sneeze without him knowing about it. And there's still unchecked illegal immigration, mass migration, rampant. In fact, even more now because no one can report on it. And they're still flying in. They're still coming in. And yet the riots still happen. What do you think would be the next solution that he would suggest? Because
I would say that he would suggest the final solution. Death penalty for racists.
That's what would happen. What he's essentially saying is, I want to handcuff all of these ethnic Brits. I want to handcuff, I want to subdue, I want to gag all of these native Brits so that they can't complain, they can't retaliate, they can't organize, they can't communicate, they can't commiserate whenever I'm flooding their country with all these deplorables, these undateables, these untouchables. What do you think his next course of action would be once the riots still happen? What he's essentially telling you is
gulags, baby. That's right. Welcome to communist UK.
He wants to gag the British public.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to listen to your problems.
Yep.
He doesn't want to acknowledge your problems.
Right.
He's especially
he actually just doesn't care about your problems. He just cares when you make it his problem.
Actually doesn't want to address the problem. He instead wants to shut you up is what he's trying to tell you. That's what he's telling you. He doesn't want to hear what your actual problems are. He knows what your problems are. He's told you time and time again he's not going to fix it because to him it's not a problem. This is right on schedule as intended. Keir Starmer is on the beaches of France blowing up the inflatable boats himself. There you go, lads. He knows what he's doing. What he's telling you by cracking down on social media. He's not saying
Well, he knows his voters are the ones that are immigrating here.
Wingers are the problem.
So evil,
alt-righters are the problem. Selfishly exploiting it for our own gain, he says. He's saying that he doesn't want to hear you complaining about it. He wants to remove your ability to complain about it. Not realizing that by administering the restrictions he's already put in place has already put people in this radicalized state as it is. People are this mad. People are this upset. People are this close to violence at all times because of the restrictions he has applied.
People don't realize how close, like, England actually is to just rebellion and civil war.
To the nation. And he wants to apply more restrictions. Has he suffered brain damage? That's a joke. I've said this multiple times, okay? Keir Starmer is not stupid. He's not an idiot. A bumbling buffoon would not be this consistently malicious.
Yeah.
It would be 50-50 making good
Dude's a prime minister of England. How did that happen?
choices, making bad ones.
And he was a communist, right? I'm pretty sure he was a communist in his youth. He ended up some fucking retard.
Consistently chooses the bad option. He chooses the evil dialogue option every time.
Not a coincidence. He knows what he's doing.
This is on purpose. It's intentional. He knows exactly what he's doing. Everything is happening as intended on the schedule that he's put together.
I'm so glad that people are finally realizing. It's like, oh, they're just stupid. No. Listen, I do believe that a lot of the voters are just retards, but the people on top are evil. All right, they're not just all stupid.
But this right here is the result of the government not listening.
I didn't see that happen.
They don't listen to you being like, well, I don't really agree with all these people coming in. They don't listen to that. They don't listen to silent protests. They don't listen to peaceful protests in the street. They don't listen to marches. They don't listen to picketing.
Dude, marches and protests, it's all irrelevant. Even if you say things, they'll just put you in jail for hate speech in England, all right? Listen, man, ultimately, 2029, you're going to have a chance to vote yourself out of this situation. And if not, you're going to have to fight your way out of the situation. I don't really think there's another option.
They don't listen to any of this stuff. They don't listen. They never listen. They don't want this. Maybe start listening to the people. If they don't want this shit to happen, maybe you should have acknowledged one of the many times you've been told what people actually want. You can't repeatedly, constantly, chronically, over and over again, not listening to their pleas, their begging.
Yes, you can.
They're protesting, they're picking. You can't just ignore this and not expect something like this to happen. Yeah, right here. We told you this was coming if you didn't get the savages out. Deportations are the moderate solution. Again, they've told you time and time again, they don't want to share their country with these immigrants. You never provide them with the opportunity to vote for something.
Look, man, that's why I keep saying it's coming. The Overton window is shifting. All right, this shit is collapsing. People are waking up. And if they don't win electorally, then there's going to be blood on the streets. I mean, there already is, but more blood.
Gets them out. They have to put up with it. They have to tolerate it. You never listen. Well, here we are. Now there's riots. How many times do you have to be told?
The answer is irrelevant how many times, because he's just not going to listen. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about your best interest. He doesn't care about the British people. He doesn't care about the future of the country. None of this matters to him. Understand, he's a communist. He wants power. And the best way for him to have power is to import an underclass of infinite retards that will vote for him. And you know why they'll vote for him? Because he'll bring in all of their fucking cousins. It's a power grab. It always was. It always will be. It's evil, obviously. And they use weapons like racism and hate speech to silence you because they just want you to shut the fuck up. They don't care if you get beheaded in the street. They just don't want that to be their issue. All I'm saying is, Western nations, this story just shook me to my core. Western nations sent Ebola doctors to Africa, and Africans killed them because they thought they were witches. Let that fucking sink in. The truth is, young men need to rise up, have children, get married, be radical, seek honesty, grow balls, and take our countries back. And it will happen. It will happen. I have faith it will happen. Never black pill. You don't make peace with evil, you destroy evil with good. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Definitely subscribe every day. Another deep dive on all of the things. I'll see you in the next one. Big kisses to everyone. Your support is very appreciated. I don't know if you are aware how appreciated, because it's not like YouTube ever promotes my videos. Probably not because of the racism, probably. Again, we have established this is a narrative that the world, the globalist world, just does not want people to see. The CEO of YouTube's an Indian guy. I have a feeling that they are not pushing anti-migration content at all anywhere. So if you could subscribe, if you could share, it's all appreciated. Join the battle. And the best way you could do that is by getting married, having a lot of children, and raising them to be God-fearing, contributing, intelligent, truth-seeking members of society. If you could be a good person and raise good children, then you are saving the Western world. That's the actual red pill that so many people just don't want you to. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.